return to America on NBC.
This is a special Christmas Day edition of NBA Showtime. Here's Hannah Storm.
Our traditional Christmas Day doubleheader begins at America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, where the Suns host the San Antonio Spurs. And then in Game 2, we'll take you to the O-Arena in Orlando for a rematch of last season's NBA Finals. The Orlando Magic hosting the two-time defending champion Houston Rockets. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hannah Storm along with Julia Serving and Peter Vesey. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, Hannah.
Oh, hello. The chef is here. All right. I think it's time for you guys to lay off the eggnog. That was nice. We begin in Phoenix with the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Suns. Phoenix has been struggling since the season began. They're a game under 500. They're in 4th place in the Pacific Division. Meanwhile, the Spurs have been playing well, especially recently. They've won 5 in a row, and they got their running game going. They're in 2nd place in the Midwest behind the Rockets. Tom Hammond, Bill Walton, and Snapper Jones will call the game, and they join us for a report. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Hannah. Thank you very much. Although the Christmas could have been a little better for the Phoenix Suns, they have an extensive injury list and will be without 2 starters today. Point guard Kevin Johnson, starting center John Hot Rod Williams, Danny Manning, of course, remains out. Those injuries have contributed to a slow start for the Suns. We asked Coach Paul Westphal about that.
To me, the biggest part of the cause is we've always had 3 guys to go to that the other team had to adjust to. You know, whether it was Manning, Barkley, or KJ. And with Manning out, now we have 2 guys. With KJ hobbled and not able to beat his man, we were down to 1 guy, and Barkley was coming off knee surgery, and he was questioning himself.
Be it fast or slow, Paul Westphal has always believed in one thing: outscoring his opponents. They've had to slow down their attack and get more structure and discipline, but the recovery is on the way. They're still outscoring opponents, but they're limiting the number of points that they're getting, and they think they're going to be tough as things get better.
Well, Bill, the Spurs are adjusting to the loss of Dennis Rodman. Should they have traded him, and how are they compensating?
Tom, Rodman had to go. He had completely lost all respect for his Spur teammates and had worn out his welcome in San Antonio. The role players who they replaced Rodman's with, their numbers have not been near as good, but you wouldn't expect that. What San Antonio really misses with Rodman is his presence, his sense of drama, his energy on the court. I think that falls on David Robinson's shoulders. He has to distinguish himself as the next evolutionary step in his career as the MVP.
No longer in San Antonio when they hope for a white Christmas are they speaking of Dennis Rodman's hair. Hannah?
All right, fellas, thanks. You know, we talk about that power forward position, and that has been a big problem for the Spurs this season. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA.
I wish Bill Walton were still here so I could argue with him after everything that he says. Yeah, they miss his toughness, and they miss his rebounding also. And they also miss Terry Cummings' toughness and rebounding. So Bob Hill has had to go to Carl Herrera. He's had to try J.R. Reed off the bench. He went with Cadillac Anderson for a little while. None of it worked. So he went to Will Perdue recently. He produced big time for about 3 games, but there are a lot of adjustments there. They got mismatches, so he went to Chuck Person. Chuck has been playing guard for most of this season. He's now playing power forward. He's had a couple 10-rebound-plus games. Unbelievable from Chuck Person.
You know, one of my themes this year is going to be the teams and the individuals who shoot a high percentage from the field. And San Antonio features 2 guys, Sean Elliott and David Robinson. They're the 2 leading scorers on that team. Both of them shoot over 50%. This works out well for the Spurs and could be an example for a lot of players in the league to think about.
And they're the second highest scoring duo in the NBA right now behind Pippen and Jordan. Game 2, the Magic and the Rockets, that is scheduled to tip off just after 6 o'clock Eastern time. The Houston Rockets, they're right there again. They lead the Spurs by 1.5 games in the Midwest Division. Meanwhile, Orlando readjusting to life with Shaquille O'Neal. He missed the first 22 games of the season with a fractured thumb. They lead the Knicks by 1.5 games in the Atlantic. Now, Marv Albert and Matt Gukas join us from Orlando. Merry Christmas, guys.
Happy holiday, Hannah. And I must say that the last time, and I'm thinking back to June the 14th at the Summit in Houston, the last time that those 2 clubs were on the very same court was right here. This the scene moments after the Rockets defeated the Magic for a 4-game sweep in the NBA Finals. And then in a most unusual move, Orlando coach Brian Hill had his players remain on the floor to absorb the feeling of what they're striving for.
Well, I think the thing that was going through our mind was, you know, that we had, you know, lost the final game and watched them celebrate and bring the trophy out onto the floor. And it was a hurting feeling, but we used that to try to motivate us for this year and for a game like tonight.
Us gathering on the floor for the last time that season, you know, just to say, hey, we had a good season, good run, and let's learn from this and stay together and come back to get here next season. And I think that attitude and the atmosphere is around here.
Well, I guess you can never start your motivational preparation too soon. It's early, but if the Magic keep playing the way they are, in June, some other team will be doing the motivating for next year.
And Matt, later today will certainly be one of the NBA's classic matchups at the center position. Shaquille O'Neal going against Akeem Olajuwon.
Well, the common thread between them is mutual respect, maybe too much on Shaq's part. Now, Akeem has the 8-year advantage in experience, the numbers edge, the rings, and the hardware. And Marv, that's what Shaq is really after.
And a festive holiday atmosphere here in Orlando, where even at this early hour, Shaq is hanging around. Hannah?
Thanks, Marv. You know, we talk about the big matchup in the middle, but you got to look at the backcourt today and the fact that Drexler's not going to be playing for Houston. He's got that bruised shin. They ran so effectively against the Magic. That was one of the key points in the final sweep. Are they going to be able to do that today?
Well, I think when they put Sam Cassell in, you know, he's a guy who can score 25 or 30 points, so he probably can fill the void in Drexler's absence today. But I talked to Clyde last night, and he's going to be out for 10 to 12 days. And if you look at the Houston Rockets, in the preseason, they went over to the McDonald's Open, and they won without Olajuwon, so they probably can fare well without Drexler in the lineup, but he's key to their success in the long run, no doubt about it.
That's definitely one factor, but there's also the revenge factor. Recently, Rudy Tomjanovich, after Rockets beat the Kings by 40 points, had a rematch with the Kings a couple days later. He told his team afterward, after they lost to the Kings, that we're at a tremendous disadvantage tonight because they had revenge on their mind. Well, the Orlando Magic have had months and months to think about their sweep going into today.
Well, there were no games in the NBA yesterday as the league took a break for the Christmas holiday. The season is nearly 2 months old, and here's what's taken place so far, the Cliff Notes version. In the Central, the Chicago Bulls traded for rebounding machine Dennis Rodman, and led by Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, they've exploded to a league-leading 23-2 record.
And anytime you're winning, you got to be able to have fun. And, you know, the guys are responding out on the court, and everything is going great. So hopefully we can keep this going the rest of the season.
Michael in transition.
Scottie, myself, and Dennis have experienced something similar to this, and the other players are starting to get a taste of it, and I think they just want to join in and keep it going.
The Pacers find themselves 9.5 games back after Rick Smith started the season on the injured list. And welcome back to the NBA, Doug Collins. His Pistons trail by 11.5. The Hornets got Glenn Rice from the Heat for Alonzo Mourning. In the expansion, Toronto Raptors have had some bright spots, 8 victories and a Rookie of the Year candidate in Damon Stoudemire. Last year's finalists, Orlando, began the season without Shaquille O'Neal, but the spectacular play of Penny Hardaway has carried them to the league's second-best record. And Don Nelson taking a Knicks team some thought was past its prime and placing them in contention.
Step slide with the guy. First year with the team. Hard and then we're rotating on the pass. Keep people in that lane.
Pat Riley had the Heat off to its hottest start, but injuries to Mourning and 2 other starters have led to 7 losses in 8 games. And Washington hoping for Chris Webber's shoulder to hold up, as well as their play.
The Webber, when he goes, it scores.
Some say they traded problems. Derek Coleman, sidelined for most of the season, sent to the Sixers, while the Nets got 7-6 Sean Bradley. And the season began with those replacement referees. When the regulars returned, most everybody was happy, but not for long.
Is Riley gone or what? He's got to be gone. Head rush kicking out.
2-time defending champion Houston Rockets. They're the best in the West, behind the devastating 1-2 punch of Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. They lead the Midwest Division with a 19-7 record, a game and a half ahead of the Spurs.
Won't rest on the plane going home. But it's worth winning this game. If you just run and press. To Avery Johnson.
The Spurs have had some trouble rebounding without Rodman, but good chemistry has them within reach of the Rockets, as are the Utah Jazz behind Dream Teamers John Stockton and Karl Malone. Expansion Vancouver started off with a pair of wins, but then a grisly 19-game losing streak, just shy of an NBA record.
Let's communicate. They're doing fine right here, and Mitch is getting over here fine. This isn't good enough. Now you see Brian down that end? Show me something.
The Sacramento Kings are off to their best start since the team moved to California.
We feel that we can beat anybody on the floor when we play our game. And, you know, that's the confidence that we didn't have here a long time. And I think now, you know, we feel we can play with anyone and we feel we can win any basketball game.
The Kings are within a game and a half of Pacific Division leader Seattle. All-Stars Sean Kemp and Gary Payton playing like leaders. Great stories in the first half, but one of the biggest, the Chicago Bulls, and a lot of people wondered, Doc, how Dennis Rodman would be assimilated into that team, and thus far he's been a model citizen.
Well, it hasn't been any problem at all. He's just another guy with green hair, tattoos, and a pierced body in Chicago, a market like Chicago versus San Antonio. But this team is a professional team. They should be the role models for all the young players in the league. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, high percentage shooters. They get the ball in their areas out of Phil Jackson's offense where they're most comfortable. They play to their strengths. And when they go out and put full court pressure on other teams, good things always happen for the Chicago Bulls.
It's tough to say that a team that's 23-2 has a weakness, but the Bulls realize that they've got to get stronger defensively if they're going to go up against Orlando, Houston, the Knicks, San Antonio, all teams with big-time centers. That's why they're trying to lure Sam Bowie out of retirement, as are the Lakers.
You know, there's another team that was expected to contend this year, and that's the Phoenix Suns, but they are clearly not happy with their season thus far. And coming up, Pete takes a look at the Phoenix problems right after these messages.
How good they are. John Stockton and Karl Malone, 2 parts of the Dream Team, coming this summer.
Hey, come on down here. This right here, this is the line. It's the 3-point line. You do this, it's worth nothing. Now you do this, now this could be worth $1 million. This is what separates the winners from the losers. Are you ready to step up to the line? You're not stepping anywhere until you go to Foot Locker, because when you vote for your favorite NBA All-Star, you're automatically in a Foot Locker $1 million shot sweepstakes. This shot's worth $1 million, if you can make it.
This This week on The Tonight Show, Jim Carrey, Frederick, Harrison Ford, Julie Brown, Jewel, Gina Davis, Donna Summer, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Robert Downey Jr., and Jay, the guy who showed you how to get Uncle Charlie out of Dad's recliner.
Over to sit down. How long have you been in this chair? The whole weekend? Have a good time, Uncle Charlie? Say bye-bye, pal.
NBC Night Shift.
Hi, I'm Wayman Tisdale of the Phoenix Suns, wishing you a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year.
Well, maybe some of you received a bass guitar for Christmas, but for those of you who got a computer, listen up. Launching today and continuing throughout the NBA season, NBC Sports covers all the exciting NBA action online. Just go online with NBC SuperNet Sports on the Microsoft Network and on the World Wide Web at nbaon.nbc.com. No doubt some of the talk on the website these days is about the sputtering Phoenix Suns, a record of 11-12 after being a title contender the last few years. Peter Vesey went to Phoenix to talk with the principals.
For the second straight year, the Rockets have knocked off the Phoenix Suns coming from behind.
Our window of opportunity is passing. I don't think there's no question. Our nucleus, our best players are all 30 or older. I mean, we have to be realistic because if we don't win it this year or next year, we're going to start rebuilding, and then time's going to be tough.
Times are already tough. The Suns are off to their worst start in 8 years. Rock bottom was the blowout home loss to Charlotte 2 weeks ago.
Oh, my.
This was certainly a low water mark in my career.
Believe it or not, the Chucksters are lost for words. That's how bad it is.
Over the next 3 days, Paul Westphal simplified the offense and emphasized the defense. In addition, he told his players from now on, if you're not able to practice, you don't start. The Suns have won 3 out of 4 since. Do you have a problem with Westphal's new edict that you have to practice in order to start the next game?
I do have a problem with it because I don't like when people change when things are going bad. I've been there for 3 years. We've won 60 games a year, and I've never practiced. In this business, everybody loves you if things are going good, but when things go bad, you know, they nitpick, and that's unfair.
What's been most disappointing is being on the sidelines, watching us play, saying, God, this is a boring team.
How good can the Suns be this year?
I think we have just as much talent as last year, and I think if we continue to work hard and get a healthy Manning back and the rest of us healthy, we have a chance to gel and really produce some problems and create problems for a lot of teams.
I've got a good hamstring. My groin is healthy. I would, for a price, you know, we could talk transplant.
I tell you what, a good head of hair to you, you give me those limbs and we'll be all right.
Marley for the win. Got it! Marley brings them up in the gun. Cavaliers by 1 over Utah.
A lot of people are questioning the Hot Rod Williams for Dan Marley trade because now your team is without a legitimate three-point shooter.
I love Dan Marley, and I'm not going to say anything bad about Dan Marley to justify the trade. Dan Marley was the backbone of this team for 7 years. But Dan's not a center. Nobody should judge the trade until Hot Rod gets healthy, and then he'll give us something we haven't had here before.
During Westphal's 3-year tenure, the Suns have averaged 59 wins this season, but that hasn't prevented recent reports that his job is in jeopardy.
Being around the game as long as I've been, when I see facial expressions, lack of communication, player to player, players to coach, you add all those things up and you start looking for reasons. We need to see a team that we felt had great promise this year come together, create some chemistry, but we need healthy people for that to happen. So it's unfair to judge Paul under those circumstances.
All you can really do is just do the best you can and hope that the people upstairs like it. But the only thing worse than coaching in this league is not coaching in this league, is the way I see it.
Now, Jerry Colangelo doesn't seem, Peter, like the kind of guy that would have a knee-jerk reaction at this point to their problems so far. But do you believe him when he says he'll wait and see if they're healthy before he decides about Westphal?
I definitely do believe him, Hannah. You're right. Jerry Colangelo has been around this franchise since it began 28 years ago. He started this season, his original thought was this team was going to be an excellent team when healthy. They haven't been healthy. What do? You bring in a new coach. Does he make them healthier? Does he make them younger? No. He's going to stick with Paul Westphal until Danny Manning comes back. He starts practicing January 1st.
We talked about the fact that they miss Marley. They also don't have Danny Ainge this year.
Well, that's true. You know, they drafted Michael Finley, who's a very, very good player. They traded for Hot Rod Williams, very good player. So they've added physical talent to their team. But Dan Molly and Danny Ainge in the locker room used to keep Charles in check. Charles is a very emotional guy. In this losing stretch, you know, I'm sure he's banging on lockers, throwing chairs, grabbing guys by the collar, doing some different things like that. And those things could be misinterpreted by new players who aren't accustomed to it. And Molly and Ainge were accustomed to it. They knew how to react to it, come back at them, smooth it out, and then go out and play good basketball.
And they're really not getting what they need from Wesley Person in that two-guard spot. He's struggling. Coming up, a nice, inspiring Christmas story. The Spurs' energetic point guard, Avery Johnson. We'll be back in just a moment.
All your favorite NBA players. 4 new card designs. 5 collectible insert sets. 2 limited edition cards per pack. Fleer NBA basketball. Oh yeah, watch out for hot packs.
They say when a cowboy gets thrown.
Seasons in the league. Once it seemed as if he would strictly be a journeyman, but now he's the starting point guard on a contending team. He is just 5'11", but his physical stature cannot begin to measure the size of his heart or the breadth of his determination.
Outstanding drive by Avery Johnson.
Not only is he playing with the big boys, he's hurting them.
I'm kind of like the, I guess, the everyday operations man. I have a big role for the team, and it's gotten bigger and bigger every stint that I've played here with the Spurs. So I'm excited about it. They have a lot of confidence in me, and I just want to pay dividends.
They call him the Little General. He is the Spurs' emotional spark, their leader on the floor and in fiery pregame prayers. And thus he's become the patron saint of NBA long shots.
It's not really how you come into the NBA, it's how you leave. My whole thing is, God told me, in a sense, I would have to kind of come in through the back door as the 12th man, but I like the way I've gradually moved up the ladder.
Undrafted 8 years ago, he's played for the Sonics, the Rockets, the Warriors, and 3 times the Spurs. He was even cut by the Denver Nuggets 5 years ago on Christmas Eve.
It was tough because even though you're with your family and it's a great time of the year and everybody's celebrating and eat gumbo in New Orleans, you know, my mind wasn't really on gumbo. It was really on trying how to get back to the NBA and keep my career going.
AJ kept his career going by improving his scoring each season. Finally now, a multi-year contract and a home in San Antonio.
Take the time out to love someone. Reach your arms out and hug someone.
Last week, Avery hosted a holiday dinner for over 100 underprivileged families in San Antonio. A player who takes nothing for granted, a man most grateful for the blessings of this season.
All my career, I've wanted to do this, but they haven't kept me in San Antonio long enough. So I've wanted to do this for a long time. It's been a vision for a while, and when a kid lights up, I want him to not only light up at me, but just know that he's blessed, and I'm trying to share my blessings with him. Let me see, can I have some? It's yummy. It's good. You want to try some? Here. All right, big boy. What's your name, beautiful? Jennifer. I have a beautiful little girl just like you. One kid just said thank you, and he really appreciated it because he hasn't eaten a good meal like this in quite some time. I was really thankful, not because of what he said, but because of the look in his eyes. Say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right. My father worked 60 years without a vacation. Why can't I go out here and give my best out on a basketball court for 48 minutes and make a difference in the lives of people? That's how my NBA career is going to be measured.
Take the time out to be right there. Take the time out to show you care.
He is without a doubt a great guy, and now he's got an outside shot. The Rockets doubled off him on Saturday night, and he burned him for 25 points in a Spurs win.
You're going to get suspended with an attitude like he has, Hannah. The reality is that when you play with David Robinson and Elliott and Chuck Person and Vinny Del Negro, opponents are going to give you the outside shot. He's making them now. They're going to continue to give him the outside shot, make him prove that he can hit it in the first game of the playoffs, the second game, every series. Prove it.
On the court, he reminds me a lot of Maurice Cheeks on our '83 Sixer championship team. He had Moses Malone, Andrew Toney, Julius Erving, so he knows where the bread and butter was on that team. He knows I got to get the ball to these guys, but I'm going to make them respect me. I'm going to hit some of these set shots. I'm going to hit some of these jump shots. And off the court, he's just a man's man.
And they're kind of a quiet team, but he makes up for it. He talks enough for the rest of them. Okay, we're going to have a little fruitcake, watch the first half. We're closing in on the tip-off of Game 1, the Spurs and the Suns from America West Arena in Phoenix, and then a rematch of last year's finals with the Rockets taking on the Magic in Orlando. The NBA on NBC continues right after these messages from your local station.
Thursday. It's New Year's on Friends.
Somebody kiss me, it's midnight. Somebody kiss me, it's midnight. It's one time going
There. And the merriment continues on The Single Guy. Seinfeld. And Caroline in the City.
Yes!
Must-see TV, NBC Thursday.
Hi, boys. Cookie got that new paste.
'Twas the afternoon of Christmas, and if one were a mouse, he'd wonder at the ruckus in this great house. The jerseys were hung in the lockers with care. The bodies to fill them would soon be there. The coaches had tossed and turned in their beds as visions of titles danced in their heads. Bob savors a season without green hair, but hitting the boards has really been a bear. The Spurs will look closely under the tree, hoping to find another MVP. Paul has been anxious as can be, wondering if the Suns can ever hit a three. But Sir Charles can still kick up his heels, at least depending on how he feels. The Admiral and his crew are in the Valley of the Sun, filling our stocking with holiday fun. So here's our Christmas gift for all to see. It's the NBA on NBC.
This is the NBA on NBC.
It's not your typical Christmas card scene. You won't find snow in the Valley of the Sun, but there is a Christmas tradition nonetheless. As for the 13th time, the Phoenix Suns host a Christmas Day game, today facing the San Antonio Spurs. Old Santa had a little energy left, so he put him to work running a camera as the holiday spirit fills America West Arena. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Phoenix. Merry Christmas. Tom Hammond with Bill Walton, Steve Jones, Jim Gray is here as well. You know, the San Antonio Spurs made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, Bill, before losing to Houston last year. It seems to me they were motivated by that loss.
Absolutely, Tom, and driven by that motivation and stung by criticism in the offseason by Dennis Rodman. The two remaining stars for the Spurs, David Robinson and Sean Elliott, have taken their games to new height. David Robinson, the reigning MVP, is playing the best basketball of his career. His numbers this year, second in the NBA in points, rebounds, and blocks. He's taken this game inside. Now, Sean Elliott, always a very good player, but has evolved and matured this year into a much better player, almost doubling his career points. Sean Elliott has really evolved into a star player. The Spurs playing their best basketball. They're on a 5-game winning streak right now.
Phoenix Suns off to a slow start this season, an extensive injury list. In fact, today, without starters Kevin Johnson and Hot Rod Williams,
and they're just not the explosive team they have been in the past.
No, they aren't, Tom, and people have always talked about the Phoenix Suns and that they're not a good defensive team. Well, they're still not a good defensive team, but if you go back to last year and you look at the explosive manpower that Paul Westphal had available to him at the 23-game mark, you had Danny Manning, Dan Marley, and Kevin Johnson all in double figures. They are gone. No coach is able to survive that. Instead of sprinting, they walk now.
So on Christmas Day, the Suns and the Spurs, but first, here's a holiday greeting from the Spurs, Avery Johnson.
Holy night, holy night. Hi, I'm Avery Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs, here with all of my friends at the Antioch Baptist Church. We want to wish everybody a happy holiday. Round young virgin.
No one can save you now.
Hey, bet we could.
Fools, we will defeat you and take your Miller Lite. Not if we choose the weapon. Paper football, very clever. You kick off.
It's good. We are saved.
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. You are worthy opponents. Let us celebrate. I know a good sports bar around the corner. Life is good.
Of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. By Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by the Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi.
Welcome back to the land of palm trees, the Valley of the Sun, as the Phoenix Suns get set to host the San Antonio Spurs. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for this special Christmas Day game. First for the visiting San Antonio Spurs. In the backcourt, Vinny Del Negro and the point guard Avery Johnson coming off a 25-point performance in the win over Houston on Saturday night. And in the front court, David Robinson, second leading scorer in the NBA at nearly 27 a game, with Sean Elliott and the veteran Chuck Person getting the start in place of Will Perdue today. Phoenix Suns will start in the backcourt without Kevin Johnson, which will put Elliott Perry at the point guard spot. His running mate will be the rookie Michael Finley. Up front for the Suns, Charles Barkley, who leads them in both scoring and rebounding. Joe Klein starts in place of Hot Rod Williams, and the good rebounding A.C. Green playing in his 755th consecutive game. Paul Westphal, the beleaguered coach of the Phoenix Suns. Some in the media and some fans have attacked him for the slow start for the Suns, but he has been vehemently defended by Charles Barkley and some of the other players.
I think that their change in style is going to help Paul Westphal survive the siege that he's under. They are now getting more points a ball game and giving up fewer, and they've got better discipline. They understand who should carry them, and they're going through Charles Barkley.
Jerry Colangelo, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, he's a big picture type guy. He's not going to panic here. The Suns primed really to get on track here. They've had a couple days off. Barkley plays much better in those type of games. Look for him to be huge, but this will be a game of matchups, I think. Very tough matchups in the middle for Phoenix, but then also Phoenix also has to guard against Sean Elliott on the perimeter.
You know, the interesting thing is you say matchups, but San Antonio has never beaten Phoenix here in America West, and matchup problems have always been there. So Phoenix has got to have some confidence coming into this game, and San Antonio trying to establish themselves as being able to win here.
Suns have won 8 straight against the Spurs in Phoenix, and on Christmas Day, the Suns are 11-2. Opening tap right in our lap.
Nice hand, Steve.
Phoenix will get the first possession. Just underway, Christmas Day from America West Arena. Elliott Perry at the point in place of Kevin Johnson. Barkley, the two former Auburn players matched up, Chuck Person and Charles Barkley, kicked out of bounds by Del Negro. Reset the shot clock.
No initial double team on Barkley. They waited until he put the ball on the floor.
There they are again. Barkley against Person. There's the double down, leaving Perry open. Elliott Perry takes advantage of the double down to put the Suns in front.
And a matchup at the guard, Avery Johnson and Elliot Perry, will be real interesting. Avery Johnson, coming off a real strong game, will try to penetrate and make things happen for David Robinson and Sean Elliott.
Got all the way to the rim that time did Johnson, but couldn't hit. Barkley misses. Robinson clears. Touch pass to Del Negro. He hits from outside.
But the lineup that the Spurs are using right now with Chuck Person at the power forward, he'll have a lot of trouble with Barkley. But on the other end, they can get it back by spreading the floor with great perimeter shooting.
This is the matchup that you want to look at right here. A.C. Green and Sean Elliott. And if A.C. Green can get any kind of numbers for the Suns.
Merry Christmas. Charles Barkley just dumps in a three.
In big games, Barkley loves to start with a three early.
Johnson left open. Baseline jumper rims out to A.C. Green. Elliot Perry will set it up for the Suns. His nickname Socks. You see why. He's got the socks all the way up to his knees, a la the old style game. Finley's three, an air ball, but right into the hands of Joe Klein. Robinson rejects him, and here come the Spurs. Elliott, and a foul.
Tom, the Spurs have really worked at David Robinson to get more active on the defensive end, but Barkley's three-point shot, he's handled the ball on every successful play for the Suns in the opening moments. It's a fast break keyed by the great defense of David Robinson, second in the league in blocks.
You say that, but where's David Robinson, the MVP? He has yet to touch the ball in the first 2 minutes of play.
And their tie score.
5-5 as the three-point play by Elliott after the foul by Michael Finley.
You saying they don't need him?
He is their team.
Green's fall away, tapped in by Klein. Suns by 2.
At some point here in this first 3 or 4 minutes, David Robinson has to get his hands on the ball, but the Suns have done a pretty good job of keeping him away from the ball.
Joe Klein trying to body David Robinson, called for his first foul.
When you have as much talent as David Robinson does, and few in the league, if anybody has more, maybe Shaq and Hakeem are right there with him, you don't tend to block out guys like Joe Klein.
Elliott misses, and Klein taps it to Barkley. Suns with the ball, leading by 2. 9:15 to play first quarter. Elliot Perry from three-point. Had a foot on the line. A long-range 2 for Perry. His 4th point.
Elliot Perry gets here before anybody. He was out here about an hour before working on that shot, and he wasn't missing early, and he finally gets the ball to David Robinson.
Avery Johnson with the penetration leaves it for the Admiral for the stuff. 2-point game.
Elliot Perry will have to keep Avery Johnson out of the middle as much as possible.
See, every time that they come down the court and they get set, they come into Barkley to make the defense react. Finley on the way to the hole.
Foul number 50, David Robinson.
Robinson picking up the foul.
Avery Johnson along the baseline will draw 3 defenders. And David Robinson just wide open in the middle of the lane. Avery's not going to shoot that ball. I'd stick with one guy on him and stay at home with David Robinson.
Here's the Finley, Mike. Here's the season Michael Finley has had his rookie year. First-round choice of the Suns. 21st player taken. All Big Ten and twice Wisconsin's MVP.
Finley was a junior. Everybody wanted him at Wisconsin. And then in his senior year, when he was the only guy on the team that really had any firepower, that was doubling and tripling, his numbers went down, and he went down in the draft.
Good board by A.C. Green. And some fancy dribbling by the veteran as well.
A legitimate gamble by Avery Johnson there. AC is not going to beat anybody from the perimeter on dribbles.
Barkley recognizes the double team, gets it to Green for the easy one.
And that's what structure has done for the Suns. It's given players more defined roles and enabled them to get easy scores. Joe Klein, another personal.
That's his second with 8:15 to play in the opening quarter.
Charles Barkley is always looking to see where the defense is, comes from the weak side, and AC Green goes to the basket. Anytime that happens, Green is going to be right there for an easy two.
Meanwhile, Vinny Del Negro gets free to put in his 4th point. And the Spurs close back within 2.
They're doubling Barkley too much. He hasn't hurt him in the low post yet.
Here he is against Person.
They're not going to let him hurt him.
Muscles his way in. Hit it against the underneath of the backboard, I believe. Out of bounds to San Antonio.
The self-check.
Johnson gets a screen from Robinson, who rolled to the basket. Klein picked him up. Person misfires on a 3, but right to Elliott. Johnson again penetrates and scores. First bucket for Avery Johnson, who just blew by the defense.
Change of pace, change of direction. Phoenix not defending the pick and roll. They are the 2nd worst defensive team in the NBA by points allowed.
Field goal shooting all even, as is the score.
Avery Johnson didn't even really have to work that hard to get that basket. The defense of Elliott Perry, he just laid on the screen and made it an open alley for Avery Johnson.
Steve, it really seems like Joe Klein is committed to staying at home with David Robinson almost every time.
Tried to get it into Finley on the low post, and a foul on Del Negro.
It's one of those questions I just have to ask. Who would you rather see shoot the ball, Avery Johnson or David Robinson?
But the Spurs, who had their best game at home on Friday night against the Rockets, had the huge performance, 25 points and 14 assists by A.J.
Here's Chuck against Chuck again. Barkley against Person. Robinson trying to double team and does catch up to block the shot. Here's the outlet to Johnson, who's in a hurry. Del Negro spotted up and scores.
Vinny Del Negro is going to be a problem for the Suns now because he's gotten off to a good, quick offensive start. When he struggles in the game, it's because he's not making the baskets. Nothing's going for him at the offensive end.
He has 6. Spurs have the lead. Klein's pass can't be handled by Barkley, and San Antonio will have possession when we come back.
David Robinson is going to stick with this double team here. He just waits patiently. That's why he's 2nd in the NBA behind Mutombo in blocks in the NBA.
Spurs by 2. San Antonio in the midst of a 6-0 run, leads by 2. Let's go to the sideline now, and Jim Gray. Jim?
Thank you very much, Tom. Well, the Suns are a couple of months behind where they've been the past couple of years. Last year, they were 40-12. They had 40 victories before their 12th loss. The year they went to the finals, they were 40-12. Didn't have their 12th loss until February the 8th. But things might get better for the Suns here in a hurry. They got their next 5 games here at home. They play 9 of 11 here at America West, so things might get better. I talked to Paul Westphal about it. He says people have to realize, as well as ourselves, we're not what we were, and that's very evident. There's only one guy on the floor today who played in the 93 finals, and that's Charles Barkley. But if you look at the team that won the 93 finals, the Bulls, there are only 2 guys on that team, Pippen and Jordan. Tom?
All right, Jim, as you look at Charles Barkley, meanwhile, the hot player so far is Vinny Del Negro. Had only 2 points, 1 of 7 shooting, as San Antonio beat Phoenix 101-93 earlier in December, but 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting to start this. Elliott with a jam in the face of Barkley.
Tom, to follow up what Jim said about the changing of the personnel on the 2 teams, Chicago and Phoenix, look who the Chicago Bulls have added. They've added Tony Kukoc and Dennis Rodman. And the Suns have not added players of that caliber.
Del Negro, he's still hot. 8 points for Del Negro. He's missed only 1 shot, and the Spurs have their biggest lead.
Vinny Del Negro is going to look to score the ball every time he can here in this first quarter. And Charles Barkley and the Suns are now going to have to control the pace of the game. Barkley
backed his way in, shot over Person. Charles has 5.
Suns have been on a real tear lately, Tom. Last 5 games, 116 points a game, 52% from the field. They might be playing the best ball with Chicago and Orlando right now.
Long rebound to Johnson off Person's 3-point miss. Person works his way to the rim.
Elliott Perry is just not doing a good job of pressuring the ball. He's allowing Avery Johnson and anybody he switches on to get anywhere out on the floor. Person gets to the rim and an easy score.
And very poor weak side rotation. No shot blockers with John Williams out of the lineup for Phoenix.
Wayman Tisdale on the floor for the Suns.
And they've got Tisdale out there because he can score the ball, and David Robinson is starting to lose that position because there was no offense.
Michael Finley's first bucket. David Robinson answers.
The quickness of the first step by David Robinson, his ability to run the floor, but really poor transition. When you're giving up that much size, strength, and talent as Tisdale is, you got to prepare better than that defensively.
And what the Suns want to try to do is survive this hot first quarter that the Spurs have thrown at them and get a rhythm so they can get control of the game.
Back rim on the Perry shot. Johnson leading a 3-on-3 break. And a reach-in foul called on Elliott Perry of the Suns.
We've been talking about the Olay defense of the Suns, and you can see nobody, after he turns a corner, steps into the middle, gets in front of the basket. Sean Elliott for the throwdown, and Avery Johnson, who's never been a great free thrower, at the line.
Has 2 points. Gets that free throw. And Johnson has been a man that has improved his scoring every year of his career. He's in his 8th season now at Southern University in Baton Rouge. 14-7, which is the best of his career so far.
And if A.J. continues that, as Wesley Person checks in for his first time, A.J. continues that streak, he'll tie Derek Harper as the only player in NBA history to do that for 8 consecutive seasons.
23-15 Spurs lead as the two brothers are on the floor now. Chuck Person and his younger brother Wesley on opposite sides. 3-point shot no good by Finley. Robinson clears to Johnson. Chuck Person spotted for the 3. Still can't hit it. Finley.
But beautiful spacing and confidence by San Antonio.
His brother Wesley can't hit either as he faked Chuck off the defensive position.
You got a double team coming to Charles Barkley because Avery Johnson was on him. They let him just get into the lane, and they're fortunate to get the ball back because David Robinson really changed what Charles Barkley had on his mind.
Here's J.R. Reed into the game for the Spurs.
Let's not forget that Barkley is the 4th leading rebounder in the NBA at about 6'4".
Averaging around 11 boards a game is Charles.
With every operation, he gets shorter.
Tisdale.
But his heart gets bigger all the time.
Robinson rips it away from Barkley.
Oh, they missed Robinson.
Got him now. It's fallen away over Tisdale. Rims out. Wesley Person the board. 3 minutes left. Opening quarter from America West.
The pace is really favoring San Antonio.
Barkley fouled by J.R. Reed, his first. 2:55 left, opening quarter. Spurs up 23-15.
Let's face it, people. Anthony Hardaway is the best player in the NBA. And it's becoming very clear that
Hey, Bennett, is that couch real leather? Because it's sticking to my leg.
Who's the man with the serious moves? Who's the man with the coolest shoes?
The new Air Penny from Nike.
In national news, Senators King and Christie of New Hampshire were
Well, I guess Spike Lee wasn't available.
Teach him some American words. You ready, Stefano?
Ready. First lesson.
First lesson.
Good.
Come on over to my office. Homie.
Homie.
Homie means friend.
Homie means friend.
Yeah, I'm your homie. Come on. Homie.
NBA scouts spending a lot of time combing the courts of Europe looking for ball players Mosconi out of the Italian League. But with the emergence of Hakeem Olajuwon as the game's best player, I think some of that time and effort should be better spent on the continent of Africa looking for more players.
I find it odd that no one has drifted down to Nigeria to look for Olajuwon or anyone like him, since Olajuwon, you know, supposed to be the best player in the universe.
Maybe they ought to look on the soccer fields while they're at it. Wasn't that where Hakeem came from?
Started there.
Yep. Field goal shooting. San Antonio at 56% to open the game. Wesley Person, head fake, shot no good. Barkley pushed off to get the rebound.
The team defense of David Robinson doesn't get a block there. No statistical edge for him or his team, but the ball possession, so valuable. That's what team leaders do. That's what MVPs do.
It'll be one in the penalty for Chuck Person at the free throw line. He and Barkley brief teammates with the Auburn Tigers. And Wesley Person was a ball boy when his older brother was becoming Auburn's all-time leading scorer.
You know, when Chuck Person came in, he was legit, and he was an explosive offensive player. You look at their second-year numbers, Chuck still an advantage over Wesley, and I think it's because of the personality. One is much more outgoing, and that's Chuck Person. Wesley's very quiet and withdrawn, but he's going to have to get outgoing here. His team is down by 10.
Chuck Person was Rookie of the Year in '87.
Two brothers got together at Wesley's house to celebrate Christmas last night. Big brother gave little brother a new wardrobe for the holidays. Knocked out of bounds by J.R. Reed. Barkley wanted a foul.
J.R. missed the last game with a turned ankle, but he's been playing a lot better since he got back to the bench. He was a player who Coach Bob Hill really wanted to fill Rodman's shoes.
Shot clock ticking down. Finley couldn't get the roll.
Got a lot of officials out there in black jerseys, but I'm going to call this one against David Robinson. He's not going to go for that. We watch Finley. He's coming strong to the rim. He thought he was going to be able to throw it down, and on the way down, Robinson brings his hand down, and that causes the official to say, you got a piece of Michael Finley.
And it's the second foul on the Admiral.
What David can't believe is that off arm of Finley had no play on the ball. And the whistle was so late.
Third point for Michael Finley, who had 27 against the Nuggets last month. And right up there among the leading rookie scorers in the league with Jerry Stackhouse and Damon Stoudemire.
Finley, though, certainly does not get the opportunities and the minutes that Stackhouse and Stoudemire get as the key figures on their teams.
Del Negro off a Reed screen. Robinson kept it alive, but Reed tapped it right to the Suns.
2 minutes.
Robinson has to be really careful about picking up his third foul.
Let's see if they go right at him here.
Barkley's going to try to get to the rim as they give him single coverage. Couldn't control the ball.
And they got rid of it, and the shot by Perry is good. Avery Johnson all the way. Got it.
Avery Johnson.
One of the Spurs' overall strategies is as soon as the team makes the basket, they quickly run right up their backs. Perfect example that time, Avery Johnson, coast to coast.
Well, the one thing that the Spurs give you the impression that they want to run all of the time, and they really don't. And if you challenge them in a running game, you're going to get a chance to score easily. Where you're going to have problems with them is in a half-court set, because everyone has to find out where is David Robinson, because he's closing down the middle.
Barkley turning baseline gets Reed to commit his second foul as Avery Johnson gets a breather, replaced by Corey Alexander, just activated on December 13th.
Bob Hill's taking a big gamble here, leaving David Robinson in the game.
Charles Barkley had 34 points in the Suns' loss at San Antonio on December 2nd.
Reed hobbled a little bit, and Herrera's going to come into the game.
That was Charles' best game when they lost down there at the San Antonio Alamo Dome, site of this year's All-Star game. But Phoenix in that game just shot 35% as a team and trailed by 18 before closing at the end.
Barkley now has 7 points. The lead 6 for San Antonio.
This is a guy that can force some mistakes. Corey Alexander into the ball game for the first time.
Herrera with a nice lob pass to Robinson for the jam. Final minute of the opening quarter. And pass picked off by David Robinson. Here comes Del Negro.
Then he wants a shot.
Carl Herrera, who's been in and out of the lineup a lot this year, only played in 12 games before today because of off-season shoulder surgery and hamstring problems. But David Robinson just hanging at the basket. Can't really imagine what defensive strategy would lead anybody to go guard Carl Herrera and leave David Robinson open at the hoop.
How about no defensive strategy? That's been it for the Suns this first quarter. Elliot Perry called for his second foul as Robinson will go to the bench, replaced by Will Perdue.
This has been basically a typical Suns game, except that they haven't had the firepower that they'd like to have. They'll allow an opponent to score the basketball, looking for chances to score themselves. So they've got to get more even distribution from this group out on the floor. Tisdale.
So much of their firepower, Steve, is sitting on the bench in very expensive suits over there. Kevin Johnson, Hot Rod Williams, and Danny Manning.
See if they hold for the final shot. There's a 1-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Spread the floor, get to the hoop for Alexander.
Person, the finger roll. Tap no good. Person once more. Perdue's follow. San Antonio had several shots at it, couldn't get it down as the first quarter comes to a close. Charles Barkley has come up big Christmas days in the past. 7 points, 3 rebounds, but David Robinson and the Spurs have a 10-point lead at the end of one.
Everything's new at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Even new ways to save. The 96 Buyer's Choice Drive Away. Drive away in the next generation of minivans. The 96 Plymouth Voyager with dual airbags and easy out roller seats at an incredible lease rate of only $269 a month.
Right here, right now. This is where you want to be.
For a limited time, only at your local Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Robin Williams is back in the movie critics are calling the greatest adventure you'll ever take. You've never seen anything like it.
Don't look back!
Jumanji, rated PG, at theaters now.
Pushing 10 to 3.
Timeout is called right now. Shaq's got to do something big to get back in this game.
Commercial.
Shaq is leaving the court. What do you mean?
He's over there. He's on Lucy.
What? I didn't know Shaq could ride a horse.
Hiya, pal.
Well, the timeout is over. I wonder if he's going to get back. Hey, wait a minute. Shaq's back. He's got it. How about that?
He says there's nothing good on TV.
This is the NBA on NBC.
Vinny Del Negro gets a seat on the Spurs bench after a productive first quarter. On 4 of 6 shooting, Del Negro the only player in the game in double figures so far. as we start the second quarter with the Spurs up 10.
This team that the San Antonio Spurs has out on the floor should give Phoenix a chance to get back in the game. Alexander, Herrera, Elliott will have to carry all of the burden along with Doc Rivers trying to get the ball in the basket. Will Purdue in the middle.
I'd give it to Sean Elliott every time. He needs 13 minutes.
There he is, a pretty move by Sean Elliott, who has a bit of a homecoming here. Played his college basketball in Tucson at the University of Arizona. He has 7. San Antonio shooting over 50%, getting the good high percentage shots.
Now this is where Barkley needs to step up and really take over offensively, trying to do so right now. But he's got to get some numbers before David Robinson gets back in the game.
Barkley with 9.
He can't do it by himself, though, Steve.
Well, he can keep them close. If he can keep them close, then they'll have a chance. All they want to do is try to find a way to get the other people in the game. Purdue misses twice.
Got it again for the 3rd time, and that's the charge.
Where is the interior defense for Phoenix? Non-existent. If Barkley has to carry him all game, Steve, though, he'll be exhausted by the 4th quarter.
You know what you always like to say, that's what great players do. Right now, in the high percentage area, San Antonio is dominating the game. I mean, this is Barkley's team, and even though he's not as great as he once was, it's his job to keep them and make them a factor.
Well, there he is, 2nd in a row as he backed his way in. The jump hook and one at the free throw line.
Sean Elliott, who's having his career best year, rolls the hook across the lane. He is right-handed. Generally, you force those guys left, but then when Barkley comes in, Barkley, who's been going to the line a lot lately, he took 27 free throws earlier this week against the Washington Bullets.
In that game, he's 2 for 16 from the field. So that meant that he probably shot about 40 times if he got only 16 official goal attempts.
Hit the game tying shot against the Mavericks that sent the game into overtime, which the Suns won, kind of turned them around. They've been playing better since that game.
3 out of the last 4 have been victories for the Suns.
And see if A.C. Green starts to make Sean Elliott go to his left. If he can do that, he'll have a better chance to control it.
Barkley out jumping the 7-footer Purdue for the rebound. Tisdale missed it and taps it in. Was it Barkley that tapped it in?
Barkley.
That's his 3rd straight goal. He scored the last 7 for Phoenix. You said he would have to carry them. He has done just that.
Cut the lead down to 7, and if they can keep them shooting outside, big shot from Alexander, then they've got a legitimate chance to make a little run here and get control of the tempo of the game.
Corey Alexander, the rookie from Virginia, makes it again a 10-point lead.
He's just been activated himself off the injured list. Barkley again at the hoop.
Nearly got the roll. He'll shoot 2. No mystery about the Phoenix offense at the moment. Get it into the hands of Sir Charles. He'll be at the free throw line when we return.
Hakeem and the NBA champion Rockets face Shaq and the Magic next on NBC.
It's savings kickoff time at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer. Your chance to end the season with unbeatable savings. The starting lineup, any new Mitsubishi. The winning play, as low as 0 down and 0% APR financing for 24 months, plus great lease deals. You can also score by entering to win a new Eclipse or Galant. Rush into your Mitsubishi Motors dealer before January 2nd or the clock runs out. Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Once upon a time, 3 girls went to Rocksteady for a pickup game.
Yo! We got next.
Lisa is the center of U.S. women's basketball team. Cheryl's a forward. Dawn is a point guard.
Shoot that, Cheryl. Take the jump, Lisa. We'll take that. Good game. Okay, next. Yeah, Cheryl. That's the next one. I got you. He can't shoot either.
And this isn't a fairy tale, so they didn't beat every guy. But they beat enough to say, basketball is basketball. Athletes are athletes.
Why? Why?
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Savings Kickoff. Rush in before January 2nd for unbeatable savings. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. And by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. This Bud's for you.
Trail by 10. I'm Jim Gray. I'm now joined by Kevin Johnson, the fine point guard for the Suns. You've been injured now with an injured groin. This is the 5th straight game you've missed. When will you be back, Kevin?
I'll tell you what, I'll be back at the first of the year, so hopefully 96 will be my year, injury-free.
Kevin, you missed 35 games last year, 88 games over the past 3 seasons. Do you begin to wonder if you'll ever be healthy again?
I just quit adding them up. I hope, again, I just have to say my prayers, and hopefully that 96 and 97 I'll be healthy.
Do you feel as though this team will be able to rebound from their poor start?
I really think so. We get Danny Manning, myself back. I think we're really coming together.
Kevin, feel better. Merry Christmas.
Thanks. Happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. Tom?
All right, Kevin, thanks for that holiday greeting. I'm sure the Suns will be glad to get KJ back.
Kevin Johnson last year, Steve, we had him in the playoffs against Houston. 21 straight free throws and then misses the one at Mario Elie hits the 3, and Houston goes on to 2 straight championships.
But he had a monster game. You know, they are always saying about Kevin Johnson, he's not there for the big games, 40+ that afternoon. And if it weren't for him, they wouldn't have even been close. And you'll see all those expensive suits you were talking about over there.
What about Hot Rod? Hot Rod's got the...
in the yellow, or what color is that?
I'm not sure. I wonder if Santa brought
mustard.
Color.
Yeah. I've got 2 or 3 suits like that.
Charles Barkley sinks the free throws. He's got 16 points now, Sir Charles does. He scored all the Suns' points in the second quarter. Person for 3. Barkley the board.
Right now, Barkley is thinking about dominating the game, trying to come all the way, gets another foul.
Almost. Barkley has been the man. He was 2 of 5, 7 points in the first quarter. In the second quarter, he's hit all 3 of his shots and has made frequent trips to the foul line.
Barkley is always dangerous in the middle as either the passer or a guy trying to score. Bob Hill's seen enough of that. He's got David Robinson at the scorer's table to try to shut down Barkley's penetration. They got Person back in, but he's not going to defend any better.
Nice assist from Barkley to a wide-open AC Green. It's a 6-point game.
A fresh Charles Barkley.
Elliott baseline, pretty shot.
There's the equalizer right there. Sean Elliott should look to dominate his matchup. Every time he's had the ball against AC Green, it's been just speed right to the basket.
He's been a lot more assertive this year, but when Robinson is out of there, he's even got to take another step forward.
Purdue wrestling with Tisdale is called for the personal foul. The Spurs playing without Cadillac Anderson today, who returned to Houston after the death of his father yesterday.
Anytime you have a double team, that means that somebody is going to be open. The best place to go is to the basket. AC Green with a little slip screen right at the rim for an easy 2.
Tony Smith for 3.
Wild shot. Not his game.
Person, the outlet to Johnson. Del Negro is back and scores again.
And that is San Antonio basketball. Rebound, get it to Avery Johnson, race up the court, and spot up with Del Negro, Chuck Person, Sean Elliott, finish with David Robinson.
Del Negro has a dozen. Again, Green wide open, looked to find where the Admiral was and put it in with the left hand.
Again, the same problem. You're double teaming Barkley, and that's why he's so good. But Sean Elliott coming right back on the attack. AC Green cannot deal with him.
I think they're doubling Barkley too much. They got a 10-point lead. If Barkley wants to try to go for 40 or 50, so be it. Play with the lead. Play as if you have the lead.
In the penalty foul zone, number 45, Chuck Person.
Chuck Person committing his first foul as Barkley almost single-handedly has kept pace with the Spurs.
You look at the size of the San Antonio team versus the size of the Phoenix team. If Phoenix is going to be able to contain them, they've got to have more pressure on the ball to force them to pick it up, and they haven't been able to do that.
Mature Charles Barkley now in his 12th year. You know he's getting really mature Charles. You know he's getting real serious. He got his wife a dog for Christmas. When you get to that step, then you know you're on the downside.
Got the roll on the second one. Cuts the Spurs lead to 9. Barkley had 17 first-half points.
Tony Smith had a reputation as the Los Angeles Lakers of being really a good defender on the ball. Let's see if he can do anything with Avery Johnson.
Good catch by Robinson. They recycle the offense with 8 to shoot. Penetration, kick back to Del Negro, missed the 3. Offensive rebound, Chuck Person. And Robinson lays it in.
That's a huge rebound by Person, who doesn't have the reputation of being a rebounder, and then the little dish to David Robinson for an easy 2.
Steve, Chuck Person has been starting power forward the last 2 games. He's had over 11 rebounds in both of those games.
But averaging only 3 a game in the season. AC Green with a putback. 8 points for AC.
Oh, Tom, that's the big picture.
Nice ball fake, Del Negro. Can't hit it, though. He's missed 2 in a row after having a hot hand early. And a foul called. We'll take a timeout with 6:47 left till halftime. The NBA on NBC.
Are you planning on serving heartburn for the holidays?
But, Dad, you love peppers.
I love sausage too, but my stomach.
Ah, wait till you see the appetizer.
Pepsid AC acid controller?
Take 1 little Pepsid AC before dinner, and you can stop heartburn before it even starts.
Stop heartburn before it starts?
You see, Dad, Pepsid AC controls acid for 9 hours through the night so you can sleep.
Oh. Say, you think we have enough peppers?
For the holidays, you can be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
It's savings kickoff time at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer. Your chance to end the season with unbeatable savings. The starting lineup, any new Mitsubishi. The winning play, as low as 0 down and 0% APR financing for 24 months, plus great lease deals. You can also score by entering to win a new Eclipse or Galant. Rush into your Mitsubishi Motors dealer before January 2nd or the clock runs out. Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Sometimes trouble comes looking for you. 1, 2, 3. And that's when you have to stop. Think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And find a way to not let it get you. Peace.
The motion picture that proves there's someone for everybody.
Just make sure that nothing happens to her.
Johnny Depp, Mary Stuart Masterson, Aidan Quinn, Benny and June, NBC tonight.
Bob Hill, the San Antonio coach, his team with a 9-point lead. Of course, the Spurs trading Dennis Rodman in the offseason, and we asked Bob Hill what it was like trying to deal with the man with green hair.
Every day was a distraction, and we dealt with it from day one, and dealt with it all year long. Now we have, last year, I'll put it to you this way. We always take part of the fine money and put it in a shooting bank for practice. Well, last year we had money constantly. We got to shoot for money every day. And this year there's none. There's, guys are early to practice. There aren't any distractions. We finally did it the other day. We had a shooting game for money, and I paid for it. So, if anything, it's costing me money that he's not here.
I used to count on doubling my per diem in those shooting games, particularly with Steve Jones.
Well, David Robinson has more or less taken up the slack, but are they a better team without Dennis Rodman?
They feel that they are a better team because they don't have the distraction. The one thing that Dennis Rodman did was unite that team together to prove that they could play basketball without him. And right now they don't have that focal point. We hate Dennis, and we got something to prove.
They're going to have to prove it in the playoffs. They won 62 games last year in the regular season.
Robinson misses from in close. Smith the rebound for Phoenix.
They've got to get something out of the backcourt. Finley, Person, and Elliott Perry.
There's a three-pointer from Finley. Lead cut to 6. Johnson again able to penetrate. And Person ran at it. First, San Antonio turnover. That's right. the first San Antonio turnover with 6:18 to play in the second. They're averaging 14.5 a game.
Cleveland, the league's best at not turning the ball over, but they don't play the up-tempo style of game. Phoenix led the league last year in fewest turnovers committed.
And again, they've got David Robinson in, closing down the middle. They need to go to the other side of the floor if they're going to try to get a score. Finley
falling away over Robinson. And a foul called by Ed Rush.
Well, A.C. Green was in his office where he can do the little sly, subtle things that he can do to get to the basketball, and Sean Elliott, trying to keep him off the ball, picked up the personal foul. Anytime A.C. Green gets down deep, that's where he's dangerous. Had the position, and Sean Elliott trying to come over the top.
Looked like A.C. Green just had his arm over the top, and it was his initiating of the contact.
Here he is, the Iron Man, 755 consecutive games, the Cal Ripken of the NBA.
Remember, I said sly and subtle tricks. He's a master at it. He can draw fouls when it's inside, and then that's really tough for Sean Elliott to deal with.
And I think he's going to draw another foul before the half is out on David Robinson. This is a tough type of player for David Robinson to have to play against.
Johnson's penetration nets another goal. Avery going to the rim at will. He has 8 points. He's dished off in that position some too.
The point guard play has been all San Antonio. Elliot Perry not a factor today.
Yeah, Elliot Perry's not even out on the floor right now. They're trying to use Tony Smith to shut things down, trying to get a three.
You got it. Tony Smith, his first basket. 3-point lead for the Spurs.
San Antonio's delayed break is in such a beautiful rhythm. That's a foul.
It's 2. Finley got him, and so did AC. They'll call it on Finley.
Finley got him first, but they've done a better job here in the quarter. And remember, it all started when Bob Hill changed his lineup, went to a lineup that didn't have the offensive punch that first unit had. That's when Barkley stepped up his game. They finally started breathing some life in some other people. A.C. Green's got 8 in the quarter, and now they're within shouting distance, and Westphal's got to feel a lot better about his team position right now.
Robinson sinks 2. He's in double figures. 5:14 left, second quarter. 5-point San Antonio lead.
Phoenix playing without a center. San Antonio has not taken advantage of the three-point shooting in favor of Phoenix. San Antonio ice cold.
See, David does a good job of getting to Barkley quickly so he can't drive the ball to the basket. He's got a good first step trying to use it against
Robinson, intimidating him. Barkley missing the shot. San Antonio takes it the other way.
What a post up for Robinson. Let him get to the hoop. Put some pressure on Phoenix's porous defense.
And I see Tony Smith is just sitting in the lap so they can't make the pass.
Robinson misses as he went to the glass. Barkley's outlet collared by Finley. They've got numbers. Green lays it out and in. AC has a dozen.
Phoenix has got back into this game with hustle. They bring Tony Smith in. Wesley Person playing terrific. David throws another one away.
Bad pass right to Finley. Barkley thought about it, but gave it up. Wesley Person.
Here's a guy that's really struggling so far this year, and that's Wesley Person. And if he could find his shot, that would be a huge shot in the arm for Westphal, but he's a little lost and lost his confidence, and that's why he's not starting.
Steve, when we were talking to Paul Westphal yesterday, as A.C. Green finishes over David Robinson, who smartly doesn't pick up the foul, he said the toughest thing for him all year has been figuring out how to get Wesley Person and Michael Finley to play well at the same time.
Chuck Person still can't buy a trade. In the hands of Barkley, checked by Person.
Chuck is saying, Chuck, you can have that deep shot, just don't come in close.
Fall away, Barkley. Sir Charles with 19. It's a one-point game.
Now they need to come back to Sean Elliott. He's been giving them fits. They're starting to double him.
So Avery Johnson is left open, and he connects.
I think that's a gamble that Paul Westphal will live with.
AC Green, as Robinson went for the steal, he's open for the easy one. He has 14.
Olay. Come on in here and make some layups.
Well, when David Robinson gambles out on the perimeter, they have no shot blocking out there either. AC Green took advantage of that.
Avery Johnson misses. Green clears it. Phoenix with a chance to take the lead.
Again, same strategy. Barkley with the ball. Wait for the defense to react.
Kind of teased Person a little bit. And an illegal defense is called. That's the second call against San Antonio. So technical foul will be shot.
Charles Barkley knows where he can score against Chuck Person. What he's looking for is where the defensive David Robinson is. No Robinson. I'll go as deep as I can. Jump over.
Really breaks the free throw. That never even got above the level of the rim. We'll take a break. 2:29 left. It's a one-point game.
4th inches. Coach Bannon, he likes to punt.
Huh? No way. Oh. Check this out. Attention, Coach Bannon. Go for it. Be a man.
Oh, what do you know, Steve? They're going to go for it. Just a reminder, when you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Do you like my new hat?
Kozak drops back to pass.
Jones is open in the end zone.
Throws it to Jones to drop the ball.
Bad call.
Should have punted. Yep.
Jesse, you're next.
I'm all yours.
Save it for the stage, Romeo.
Carol always gives it to me straight. Like when she told me about my...
I told him about Head & Shoulders. Regular shampoos just rinse flakes away so they could come back. Head & Shoulders helps prevent flakes from even forming. You see the difference? You look great.
Thanks, but will it get me this part?
Couldn't hurt.
Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Hey, break a leg.
Only one had the power of Eric Heidman. Only one has the control of Janet Evans. Only one had the endurance of Greg LeMond. Only one performs like this. Seville STS with the North Star system. The great performers are always creating a higher standard.
Dateline Tuesday.
Anybody who says life's not worth living is totally wrong.
Christopher Reeve goes home for the holidays with new hope for the new year.
What are your hopes and your dreams?
Katie Couric's touching interview. Plus, this is nuts. Why are you paying more for American peanuts than the rest of the world? Dateline NBC Tuesday.
Hi, everybody. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll talk about the second game of our holiday doubleheader, Houston at Orlando. We'll look at the road taken by these two teams since they clashed in last season's NBA Finals. Today is their first meeting since that time. And we'll hear from Julius Erving and Peter Vesey on the first half of the Suns and the Spurs. Right now, back to Phoenix.
All right, Hannah. Tom Hammond with Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones, Jim Gray, and Charles Barkley, who's kept the Suns in it. 12 points this quarter. Since his career with the Suns, since coming over from the 76ers, you see his field goal percentage has steadily declined while his scoring average has stayed relatively the same. And
he's taking more difficult shots now, Tom. His role is different. Remember when he was playing with Philadelphia, particularly in the early years when he had Dr. J and Charles Barkley working on his physical conditioning. I think he's really made an extra effort at as his career is going on.
Trying to stretch that bad back a little bit. Barkley and AC Green really carrying the Suns back from a 10-point deficit to within one. Green has 12 points in the quarter after garnering only 2 in the first.
Now, AC got going thanks to Charles Barkley and the defense that the Suns were playing against him. They're going to give Green a wide open three.
Can't hit it. Top of the board to Del Negro. Spurs with the ball up 1. Approaching the 2-minute mark, quarter number 2. There's the shooting, 65% shooting thanks to Barkley and Green inside.
2 minutes.
A lot of one-on-one for San Antonio.
Elliott lost it and then committed a foul trying to get it back.
In the penalty, number 42, Sean Elliott.
Second foul on Sean.
Now, they had some quickness against quickness, and Michael Finley did a good job of keeping Sean Elliott in front of him and then trying to control There was a phantom foul. Both those guys were patting the ball at the same time, and Sean Elliott telling the official, there's no way. I grabbed him. We both had the ball.
Actually, it's his third foul now. So Elliott picking up his third foul with 1:57 to play, second quarter. Smith will have another.
Tony Smith, who was able to be signed after 5 years with the Lakers because of the salary cap exception that each team was granted with the new collective bargaining agreement.
It's 1 of 2, so the Spurs have the ball and the game tied at 52. Backcourt trap here. Avery Johnson out of it with no problem.
See, now they've calmed the San Antonio Spurs down, have a little doubt in their mind as to where they're going to score the ball. This is the guy that should get the easiest score and can get a shot anytime he wants, but now he's not in an offensive rhythm.
If that's the best shot you can get against AC Green, it gives up 5 or 6 inches there. You're not playing very well.
Barkley pulls up and shoots a bad-looking three, and the Spurs get it back.
Now, Phoenix has always been amongst the league leaders in attempts and percentage, and this year their percentage is way down from behind the line.
Elliott missed it. Missed jam by Robinson, and Barkley clears. But apparently Charles pushed off to get it.
Loose ball foul number 34, Charles Barkley.
Loose ball foul on Barkley. His second
last 2 minutes on shooting foul.
I know you don't know anything about having a hammer in your hand and trying to hit a nail. This is what David Robinson was trying to do, and he missed that nail, and it was Barkley right behind him, and they said he pushed off.
I didn't see the foul, but there I do with Person reaching in on David Robinson, who will shoot 2.
Barkley, always one of the most vocal players.
That's mature, Bob. You said he was mature.
He is.
But when he knows he's 100% wrong, he'll let go of it. That time he did. Now, if there was some real question, he'd continue to fight for it and even get a technical to try to prove his point.
David Robinson, the only player in the top 10 in the NBA in 4 different categories. Hakeem is up there in 3 of them. Shaq, of course, not eligible yet, hasn't played enough games.
Robinson in the top 5 in scoring, rebounding, blocks, and field goal percentage.
And playing his best basketball of his career.
Hard to think that you could better MVP numbers of a season ago, but he's done that.
Well, the one thing that David told us yesterday that he learned from the playoffs is there's still another level he's got to get to. The way that Olajuwon carried the Rockets, that's where he wants to be at the end of the season.
Well, Purdue is checking Barkley now. Steal by San Antonio, but a Spurs foul before they came up with the ball.
Steve, you talked about a team and the matchup that they had last year in the playoffs. Let's not forget that David Robinson is just in his 7th year in the NBA. And it wasn't until Hakeem's 10th or 11th year that he got to that championship level.
Chuck Person just committing his 3rd foul, and the free throw good by Finley. Don't forget, coming up next, game 2 of our holiday doubleheader. Hakeem Olajuwon and the world champion Houston Rockets taking on Shaq and the Orlando Magic. First time they've met since the finals last year. Second game of our doubleheader coming up on NBC.
You mean to tell me Shaq's going to have to wait 5 more years before he gets to be a dominant force?
Avery Johnson. Bad looking shot. Maybe somebody got a piece of it. And now the Suns with the basketball, leading by 2 in the final seconds of the second quarter. We'll take a 20-second timeout.
Now, Paul Westphal got the break that he needed when they had that small team out on the floor. Barkley carried them until they got AC Green in the game. They were able to mix in Finley, Tony Smith with a couple of big shots, and they've cooled off Vinny Del Negro. And they haven't found David Robinson. That's the difference in the quarter.
Coming up next, Orlando and Houston, as we were saying. Only the Bulls have a better record than Orlando and Houston. 21-6 for the Magic, 19-7 for the Rockets. And in the old arena, the Magic as usual, are doing their thing. Nobody
undefeated.
Yeah, nobody. Just like last year, they lost, what, once before the playoffs.
It takes a team from the West to beat the Magic in the old arena. I mean, the Eastern Conference cannot seem to get the job done when they go down to the old arena. Maybe it's something in the water.
It takes a great point guard play. Last year, it was only Seattle and Utah that were able to get the victories in Orlando, with Gary Payton and John Stockton having the huge games.
And then the shocker in the playoffs when the Celtics beat them in the old arena.
3 on the shot clock.
Three-pointer, Smith, they got it. Robinson, Del Negro tries to answer, no good, as the half comes to an end. Charles Barkley took the offense on his broad shoulders. 19 first-half points as he carried the Suns from a 10-point deficit to come back to take the lead at halftime. At the end of the first half from the America West Arena, Phoenix Suns 57, San Antonio 52. Stay tuned for the Prudential Halftime Report.
In shopping for a luxury performance sedan, Jay Kerness tested the old...
Together. Tell him Little Penny from the Science Club says hello. Can you do that for a brother?
Think, Howie, why is your throat, your cough, your fever all feel worse? Because it's nighttime, and you can dwell on it. Take what you used during the day. Well, you'll still be up all night coughing. Your speech will bomb at the convention.
Nighttime is no time for a 1 or 2 symptom medicine you take during the day.
Room service? You have any NyQuil? The corner drugstore?
With Vicks NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine. The difference is night and day.
The Indianapolis Colts. With Jim Harbaugh and Marshall Faulk leading the way, they've reached the playoffs for the first time since '87.
The San Diego Chargers.
The defending AFC champs are riding a surge of electricity with 5 straight wins. Now it's do or die when they meet in the AFC wildcard game.
Sunday at 3:30 Eastern on NBC.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential.
Halftime at America West Arena with the Suns leading the Spurs 57-52 after trailing by as much as 12 points in the first half of this game. Merry Christmas once again, everybody. Hannah Storm in New York with Julius Erving and Peter Vesey. And Charles Barkley dominated this game for the Suns early. He has a third of their points now, 19 points, but maybe they were a little too dependent on him early. Now they've made some adjustments.
Well, they were doing everything through him early. He had to get the defensive rebound. He got some offensive rebounds. He was doing the playmaking, the ball handling. And the Spurs got lulled into a false sense of security. They had great balanced scoring throughout the first quarter and a half, and they weren't using David Robinson, and then suddenly the other Suns got involved. That's how they got the lead after, being down by as much as 12 points.
It's clear to me, though, that they have a 5-point lead, the Suns, but they still lack that outside shooting. Wesley Person has no points. Michael Finley has 9. But even when John Williams, Kevin Johnson, and Danny Manning get healthy, they still miss Dan Marley and Danny Ainge. And I know Jerry Colangelo told me he's trying to get an outside shooter.
Okay, now throughout the day, we're going to be hearing from some of the more musically gifted NBA players. And now we're proud to present a duo of former choir boys, brothers Mark and Brent Price.
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Hi, I'm Mark Price. And I'm Brent Price, and we want to wish all of you the happiest of holidays. And our very best for the new year. What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock. A mix and a mingle and a jingle and a beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell rock. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Mark Price wishes that his foot was as healthy as his vocal cords. I'm tempted to say the price has been wrong for the Bullets this year.
Oh, well, he's been out with an injury. We do have, unfortunately, some sad news for you on this Christmas Day, and for that, we go to Bob Kerr and NBC News.
Word comes to us from Los Angeles this afternoon that Dean Martin has died. The singer, actor, and comedy star was 78, died at home in Beverly Hills early this morning of acute respiratory failure. Many will remember Dean Martin as the straight man for Jerry Lewis in nightclubs and the movies. Martin once said the two greatest turning points in his career were meeting Jerry Lewis and then leaving him. Dean Martin had a smooth baritone voice that made him a favorite with record buyers. Hits like That's Amore and Everybody Needs Somebody. The Dean Martin TV show became a big hit here on NBC back in 1965, and as an actor, he starred in several movies, among them Rio Bravo with John Wayne and a war drama, The Young Lions. Later, he became a top attraction as a Las Vegas nightclub act, and as in his TV show, Dean Martin often pretended to be tipsy. Actor Jimmy Stewart once remarked, "I always watch Dean Martin's show just to see if he falls down." And from Frank Sinatra today, Dean was my brother, not through blood, but through choice. Dean Martin, dead today in Beverly Hills at age 78. I'm Bob Kerr in the NBC Newsroom in New York.
Thanks, Bob. And Dean Martin, a longtime member of our NBC family, and all of us here at NBC send our heartfelt condolences on this day. Up next, we will check in on Game 2 of our NBA doubleheader, the first meeting of the Rockets and the Magic since the NBA Finals. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from Grant Hill and the NBA.
Financial concerns, medical problems, anxiety about the future. 50 million Americans turn for help to one particular company, a company whose sole purpose has always been to bring them to a different state of mind. Peace of mind, security, protection, optimism. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
It started when you picked up your first ball. You were learning how to dribble, how to shoot. But there was more. Things that weren't as much fun, but just as important. Things that made a difference. You learned so much about this game. You even learned to love it. And just when you thought you knew it all, you learned a little more.
Just a short time ago, Shaquille O'Neal arriving at the O-Arena in Orlando. Takes a lot of leather to cover a guy as big as Shaquille O'Neal, 7'1". Today he'll be matched up against Akeem Olajuwon. Akeem starting out the season slowly, but he's rounding into form now after that preseason injury to his back. They are the main focus of Game 2 of our Christmas Day doubleheader. Following the Spurs and the Suns, Houston at Orlando, a matchup of two of the NBA's elite, and a rematch from last season when the Rockets swept the Magic in the NBA Finals en route to their second consecutive title. Today, they meet for the first time since last June. Half a year has passed since the Houston Rockets repeat in a stunning sweep of the Magic in the NBA Finals. They are poised for a rematch, perhaps once again in June, both challenged by high expectations.
Well, we have something that's very important in terms of history. We have a chance to win it 3 times in a row. Not many teams in the history of the NBA has been able to do that.
This year, with the talent, with the maturity, with the experience that we gained over the past year, everybody expects us to win it easily.
Orlando has won easily, and surprisingly, without superstar Shaquille O'Neal, who missed the first 22 games of the season with a fractured right thumb.
It lets people know that, hey, this team can play without the big fella. I think it took us a little adjustment to play without him. And after we learned that, we said, hey, he's not going to be there, so everybody had to step up their game. And everybody did that, especially Penny. I can't say enough about this guy. He took it to another level.
As the Magic switched to a guard-oriented offense, Penny Hardaway shone, scoring nearly 8 points above his career average.
I know my point average is going to drop with Shaquille coming back because he's our go-to guy, and I really don't worry about that. I just want wins. That's all I want. I don't care about the points. I don't care about anything else but winning the game, and whatever it takes for us to win, that's what I'm going to do.
With Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson also off to career best starts, Shaq returns to an improved team.
I think the confidence level is the biggest thing, that if we lose Shaq as the year goes on, be it the foul trouble or we lose him to another injury, that there's still going to be a high confidence level on this team, that they can execute offensively and get stops defensively even with him off the floor.
Meanwhile, the Rockets have not been lured into complacency. They're playing better now than at any time in last year's regular season.
I think there's more expected of us, but I think the people around us, I think they don't really believe that we could do it again, but they don't want to say it because of what happened last year.
Respect continues to be their rallying cry, but the back-to-back champs are getting it from the rest of the league.
We're finally getting the respect that we deserve. I think every team we playing this year trying to beat us. They're putting more effort into it. I'm not saying that they wasn't, but it's a big difference from this year than last year.
While the Rockets look to establish a dynasty, is the Magic ready to claim its first crown?
We can't really get caught up what happened last June, even though you still feel it, somewhat. And of course, a lot of people are going to talk about it. And no matter if we come out and we beat them by 20, that still doesn't make up what happened in June. They still have the ring on their finger. And I think all of us realize it, but it's still a very important game, and we can send a big-time message.
Brian Hill kept his team out on the floor of the Summit last year to watch the Houston Rockets celebration after that sweep. A young team, probably impressionable. What did they learn from last year?
Well, they learned that if you lose 4, you're out. And
that's pretty easy lesson.
Certainly, the significance of today's game for Orlando looms so much larger than the significance of it for Houston. Houston has proven itself. Orlando wants to erase the stigma associated with going out in a sweep last year. They have to make believers out of themselves. That's why these early season matchups between potential contenders is so good. They get to gather information and make some decisions from that information based on what their chances really are.
I asked Penny Hardaway going into this season what he was coming back with off that sweep, and he said it's personal this year, and he has certainly moved up into that echelon of elite players we know with Bird and Magic and Jordan and Barkley, and it has become personal for him. Management's learned that they needed help. They went out and got John Koncak. They made a great pickup with Joe Wolf, and they re-signed everybody they had to, Dennis Scott, Brian Shaw, and Anthony Bowie.
And one cannot underestimate a terrific coaching job by Brian Hill in what is often a thankless job. Meanwhile, the Suns lead the Spurs by 5. We will send it back to Phoenix for the second half right after these messages from you locals.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential.
News Radio! Here's Matthew. We always get the scoop.
Welcome back to Phoenix, where the Suns lead the Spurs 57-52 as we get ready to start the third quarter. And Charles Barkley did not find a lump of coal in his stocking today. He had the hot hand in the second quarter. He carried them from 10 points down to the lead at halftime.
Well, they squeezed that lump of coal, turned it into a diamond, but what they did was change the momentum of the game. The Spurs were in a sprint in that first quarter. They made a substitution, and when they went small, Barkley went big, and that changed the game. They now have the momentum.
Steve, San Antonio, they totally stopped doing whatever it was they were doing, the good ball movement, the fast breaking attack, the good solid points in the paint that they had at edge in the first half. San Antonio scored 2 points in the last 5 minutes of the second half. Their one-on-one guys, Sean Elliott and David Robinson, did not get the job done down the stretch.
So Phoenix leading by 5 at intermission. Let's take a look at our Miller Lite halftime stats. As you see, the field goal percentage in favor of the Suns, 50 to 45%. Barkley hitting 6 of 12, 19 points. In the paint, San Antonio, as expected, has had the advantage. David Robinson has 8 of his 10 in the paint. But the Spurs, after leading by 10, find themselves trailing. We'll return for the start of the third quarter in just a moment. Tom Hammond, With Steve Jones, Bill Walton, Jim Gray in Phoenix. They're the leading scorers. Barkley leads all scorers with 19, and AC Green benefiting from the double team of Barkley with 14. Del Negro, Elliott, Robinson, and Johnson all in double figures for the Spurs.
And they got 12 of those in that. AC got 12 of that 14 in that second quarter of play. And we'll see whether they continue this attitude of double teaming Charles Barkley. But first, this is the guy they got to wake up, David Robinson at the offensive end.
Spurs made only one of their last 8 shots over the last 5 minutes of the half when the Phil said they scored only 2 points.
They doubled David.
Shot clock to 3. Person got it away and hits the tray. Big basket by Chuck Person, his first 3-pointer of the game.
Finally, Chuck Person 1 for 8. 0 for 5 from behind the arc in the first half. Paul Westphal not even going to waste any time with Joe Klein here.
Finley pitches it back to Barkley, who finds Person open for the 3. Can't connect. And a San Antonio foul. Chuck Person.
Well, both of them stayed up too much talking about old times, but Chuck finally got one to go. Wesley on the other end is still yet to strike a match.
That Christmas get-together at Wesley's house last night must have lasted a little late, judging for their shooting.
Kicking violation, reset the 24-second shot clock.
Trying to come to Barkley to start things off, and they double team right away.
Open man is Tony Smith for 3.
Westphal has been under a lot of criticism. He's quickly made the right decisions of coming with guys who played well. Only Barkley and AC Green and Finley who started this game started the second half.
Tony Smith had done a better job defensively in containing Avery Johnson. Then he now has lost that offensive rhythm.
Del Negro was hot early, but it has severely cooled off. Finley for 3. Back rim, Wesley Person, his followers.
20-second timeout.
And a 20-second timeout called by the Spurs as the Suns have built their biggest lead, a 7-point bulge.
Offensive rebounds. David Robinson standing there, everybody else waiting for him to get the job done, but the long rebound, that's got to be cut at the foul line is Westphal. One of the few times this year he's had an opportunity to smile.
Now, Paul has never been a guy that's given a lot of emotion on the sideline. He's done more so this year. He's been under a lot more heat, and I think he's reacted to it.
Well, some of that emotion was let out yesterday when he comes out after practice and has a flat tire in his car. That's been the way it's gone for Paul this year.
Finley can't handle it as it goes out of bounds with 14 to shoot. Avery Johnson's had a good game, 10 points, 9 assists, and no turnovers.
Avery had his way with Elliott Perry, and Elliott told us yesterday he thought he'd be able to keep him in front of him, but he has not been able to.
There's Avery, baseline floater, and he has 12.
The Spurs, Tom, don't seem to have any sort of offensive rhythm or pattern right now. They're just standing around getting one-on-one plays.
Around the horn to Finley, who nails the 3. Good ball movement by the Suns.
When you can swing it back and forth and have the same guy handle it 2 or 3 times in the middle, you're going to get the defense just spinning around, much the way Chicago Bulls opponents are finding out this year.
Person.
As long as they have David Robinson in the game, they don't need to double team Charles Barkley. Make him beat you over the top, and they've taken his shot blocking out of the game by David going over.
And Barkley
Remember that first 3-pointer that Finley took, and you said, "Ooh, that's ugly." This is beautiful. And you can tell by the way he's backing up. That is a thing of beauty.
He felt it.
This is only his second start at the off-guard position. But Finley, like Elliott Perry, out here working relentlessly before the game. With assistant coach Donnie Nelson, looked pretty good, but then just started off ice cold.
One thing, they got some quickness against Sean Elliott. Elliott doesn't like to go left, but starts a good, strong drive of the second half going left.
13 for Sean. And the Suns lead cut to 6. Barkley again draws the double team. Shot out of it and made it.
And you say to Chuck Person, when was the last time you blocked a shot, and when was the last time you blocked Charles Barkley's shot? You shouldn't be leaving your feet, but there he goes.
Back at Auburn. It's his 4th foul. Person's 4th.
Westphal, very good. And Barkley, when he makes that move to the left baseline, never just goes straight up for the jumper. Barkley, who used to torture Chuck Person when they first were started in the league, when Chuck was playing for Bob Hill in Indiana.
Let him know about it too, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Barkley used to play with Chuck's mind all the time.
Avery Johnson won't go. Green, one-handed rebound.
Barkley's calling for it on the wing.
He's got it.
Now he's got David Robinson on him.
Shoots over him, way off. Elliott, the trailer, came out. Robinson fouled by Barkley. Let's go to Jim Gray for a report. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, at the end of the first half, J.R. Reed re-sprained his left ankle. He will not return to the game today. And also at halftime, I spoke to Bob Hill. He told me that David Robinson hurt his left toe, his left big toe in the last game, and it's really been bothering him. That's why they haven't tried to concentrate on going to him offensively. They don't want to overwork him, but they don't want him out of the game because they feel if he's out of the game, they have no shot. Tom?
All right, Jim. Robinson connects on the free throw where he's hit 3 of 5 now.
They better work it and find out whether the big toe can stand it.
That last foul, by the way, was number 3 on Charles Barkley as Robinson misses the second.
Otherwise, they stay in that we can't win at America West position.
They've lost 8 in a row here, and they trail by 8.
AC Green wide open first.
Beautiful patience by Robinson.
Wesley Person had it slapped away by Avery Johnson. The Admiral against AC Green. He gets right by. Whoosh. Left a vapor trail.
AC Green is a legitimate backup postman for a team. Can play very well. Used to play very well at backup center for the Lakers. Didn't get much opportunity behind Kareem.
Will Purdue checking Barkley, who goes behind the back right to Avery Johnson. 2 on 3. Johnson nevertheless takes it away in deep. Can't score. Person clears.
Will Purdue's going to have a tough time right now.
Barkley flew by him on the baseline. Second on Will.
Third team foul time.
Where you'd like to see David Robinson really take advantage of AC Green is going to the basket, and that's the first time here in the second half he's done so.
Timeout, the NBA on NBC.
You got a wet spot? Let's go. Right here.
You missed a spot.
Thank you.
We designed the new Acura TL series to provide you with so much comfort you'll be constantly reminded you're in a luxury car. And then we gave it an incredible lease offer that allows you to enjoy the rest of life's luxuries. Because after all, driving a luxury car should mean not having to compromise on anything. Lease rates as low as $369 a month with...
DC is brought to you by Acura, who introduces the Acura SLX, the most civilized way to leave civilization. By the new Schick Tracer FX, designed for sensitive skin. And by Miller Brewing Company, wishing you and yours a very happy holiday season.
Welcome back to Phoenix, where the Suns lead the Spurs 68-62. Paul Westphal, who talked to us yesterday about the trading of Dan Marley.
It was tough. It was emotional for the players, for management, for Dan, and the community. And he is a guy that has been the backbone of our team for 7 years. I mean, You know, Dan Marley was always there, and you could count on him. And we miss him. Everybody misses him. But at the same time, we had to do it. Dan's not a center. Hot Rod is. The cold facts of reality, Michael Finley's a young player who plays a lot like Dan when he was young. And it was just a move that we had to make.
Hot Rod has been everything that Paul Westphal wanted, except healthy right now. And Dan Marley has yet to find his rhythm, averaging about 8 points a game up in Cleveland and just shooting nearly 30%. Ouch.
Phoenix mascot, the gorilla, was out during that break with a lime green suit on. I hope Hot Rod didn't see it. He may, if it fits, Hot Rod may be in. Hot Rod sporting the mustard look over on the center.
I've got a lime green suit as well, Tom. You should see my closet.
You have mustard on your suit. I don't know if it's...
You're going to change your name from Dollar Bill to Fashion.
AC Green got a piece of the shot by Robinson. Suns have it.
This is not the David Robinson of the last 3 weeks of the season where he's been on one of the great offensive roles of his career. Here's mismatched here against Barkley.
Again, they're going to stay with double teaming him. That's going to spring somebody else free. And Wesley Person still hasn't found a rhythm because that's a shot he should be knocking down about 60% of the time.
Del Negro, quick pop. And Barkley another board. He's got a double-double. Person nearly stolen by Del Negro. Barkley leans in, but nothing doing against the Admiral. So Person plays it in from Barkley.
Problem that the Spurs are having now is they got no shot blocking in the middle because David Robinson is now taking on the duties of keeping Charles Barkley quiet here in the third quarter.
Elliott open for three. Smith goes upstairs to grab it.
David Robinson's limping.
That big toe that Jim Gray was telling us about.
He's also played with constant tendinitis, but he plays with that every day and rarely misses a game, rarely misses a practice.
Person forced that one, but got away with it. Foul on Del Negro. Second on Vinny.
A moment ago, Vinny Del Negro is going to turn his head defensively, and that's going to just allow Wesley Person to just slice right down the lane. You're going to turn and watch the ball. You've got to take that step back into the lane, covering yourself in the back.
Number 25, Rivers returns to the Spurs lineup.
Del Negro sits down. He hit 4 of his first 6 shots, but only 1 of his next 6 for Bob Hill. Doc Rivers on the floor for the Spurs. And Elliott Perry has come on for the Suns.
Big problem for San Antonio, though, Tom, is they've fallen down by 10 now. They just can't score, and nobody seems to have a hot hand or any kind of rhythm.
Avery Johnson misses a layup, but a Phoenix foul.
Yeah, you know what he said, though? Elliott Perry's coming back in the game.
His eyes got real big.
He went right at Elliott Perry, got all the way to the rim, overlaid. Otherwise, he'd be having a chance for a three-point play. But Elliott Perry is going to have to get up and try to deal with Avery Johnson, trying to force him to that right hand. He's letting him go wherever he wants out on the floor. When he's been in the game, San Antonio has taken off.
Both of the point guards in this game, Steve, are real success stories. Avery Johnson and Elliott Perry, they've both been waived so many times. You look at the assist leaders, Avery Johnson, career high 9 assists. Stockton always atop, the career leader in the NBA.
And Avery Johnson, of course, told he couldn't play in the NBA. And he's been around, but he has found a spot here in San Antonio. And as you saw, among the assist leaders in the NBA. Assist to Barkley for the jam. Sir Charles with 24.
Now, normally when David Robinson is quiet as he comes to the rim, he thought he got fouled, got it back. Sean Elliott steps up. And Sean Elliott had a good first and second quarter, has been quiet here in the third. He only has 2 points. David Robinson now 5 in the quarter.
We talked about what Rodman brings to a team. He brings that presence, that sense of drama, that excitement, that big game atmosphere. Right now, the Spurs are missing that.
Wesley Person finally finds the range. Now 9 for Wesley. They call him Stick with that slender frame as opposed to his older brother Chuck. Doc Rivers nails the three.
That's the thing about Doc Rivers at this stage in his career. He's not shooting a high percentage, but whenever they seem to need something to happen offensively or defensively, Doc steps up. He knocks down a big three, and San Antonio has not had a lot of those field goals go in today.
Had only 1 of 10 in the first half. And the Suns throw it away.
When David Robinson gets back cut like this by Barkley, you know that he just doesn't have the same mobility and freedom of movement that you normally associate with David Robinson, a healthy one.
Rivers open again. This one won't go. Barkley kept it alive until Perry can pull it down.
It's a tough matchup with Will Perdue out there. Just doesn't have the foot speed. He's got plenty of feet, but just not much foot speed for the power forwards in the Western Conference like Kemp and Barkley and Horry and Malone.
Wesley Person is heating up. Person's foot, size 21, 5'8".
12 in the quarter for Wesley Person, so he's now come alive. David Robinson overlaid, got it back, and they're going to get a foul.
Robinson obviously just not at the top of his game this Christmas Day. We'll take a break. Suns on top.
Put on your helmet. Huh? Because this year, Bud Bowl's putting you in the game. Huh? You could win a Wilson football. Cool. Or even $1 million. Whoa. Hey, you. Who, me? Yeah. Look, it's first down, and one of these 6 plays will score. Knock it in there. Whoa. End around. That's easy.
Yeah, just got to get by us.
Pick up your $1 million play card where you buy Bud, Bud Light, and Bud Ice.
He's fine. Cupcake, I got 5 more plays. Get up.
And this is a guy thing, right?
The all-new Tracer FX with its unique skin guard
Is this a sensitive part?
is designed to give a man a smooth shave with less irritation. Chic Tracer FX.
You the sensitive type? I like that.
When the bear comes out of hibernation, he sees little, hears less, but his sense of smell is keen. The cool scent of Coast revives him. Then he is friendly and can learn to do tricks. Coast, the eye-opener.
Ford Escort is a surprising car. 4 cars, really. The 3-door Sport, the 4-door Sport, the 5-door Sport, and the wagon. You can pick one, any one, for the same low price of just $12,495, which is great because it includes dual airbags, air conditioning, power steering, power mirrors, and a stereo. And it's the only car in its class that can go up to 100,000 miles between recommended tune-ups. Wow, the surprising Ford Escort. Get one with everything, but get it to go.
Yeah. They say it's all right. Say it's all right. Have a good time. 'Cause it's all right. Whoa, it's all right.
Well, they say Sir Charles can do it all, and he was in action today before the game.
You know what? I told them that you're one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen and that they should show you on TV today. What is your name? Patty? I am Charles. Nice to meet you. Hey, are you married? No, I'm not. You not? Why aren't you married?
Not for a while myself.
Well, I tell you what, you don't have to wonder anymore. Somebody got something to say to you.
Patty, I want to know if you'll marry me.
Want you to look.
Well,
everybody in the world wants to know.
Of course I will.
All right.
And there they are watching with a little TV. She had to think about it a minute, before she said okay. And I think Charles promised to perform the ceremony.
Charles been point maker, matchmaker.
He's on the bench right now with Wayman Tisdale in the game.
Well, it's an 11-point lead for the Phoenix Suns, who now got a little teeth in their defense. They're more active and moving quicker to the ball. And it's going to be up to Elliott and David Robinson to bring them back.
And Elliott does his part with 16 in the game.
Will Perdue running back down on the corner of defense saying, who am I guarding? Who am I guarding?
What happened to Charles?
No, they had to get him off of that. They've got Barkley out of the game. This is an opportunity for San Antonio to get back in it.
And there's the man that can do it, Sean Elliott. Missed that one wide open. Wesley Person the rebound.
Good run out defensively by Michael Finley, who took away the three that was in Sean's rhythm.
Now, if you look at San Antonio, they got to look and see who's in white and recognize they just need to keep all of the white shirts in front of them. They're going to get some mistakes. They're going to get a chance to get back in the game. Without Barkley out there on the floor, there's no need to double team anybody.
Now 10 Sun turnovers to only 3 for San Antonio.
You look at both teams on the court right now, you say, how does Phoenix have an 8-point lead?
Well, okay, David Robinson now has to get busy. He's got to make plays for other people out on the floor.
Sean Elliott misses the tray. Robinson taps once, no good. Cleared by Person. And Wayman Tisdale, I think,
he got an elbow.
22nd timeout taken by Phoenix with 1:36 left in the third quarter.
That's too bad for Wayman Tisdale, who's finally hit his stride after coming into camp woefully out of shape, up near 290 pounds, and had a shoulder injury that slowed him down even more. Couldn't really see much there.
David Robinson's hand came down and raked him across the face. But what's the name of that thing you wrote? Men are made in the paint. He's got to shake that off.
That's right.
He can't be a man in the middle and not take a little pain.
That's what you live for, Steve. I mean,
the pain?
No. You get banged around out there, bang him right back. I mean, you got guys like Dave Cowens in attendance here. Paul Silas, some of the great names in the history of this game. A little elbow to the head slow him down. That usually fired him up.
Person feels it now.
14 and a quarter for Wesley Person. So he stepped up his game. We got 13 minutes left in this one for David Robinson and Sean Elliott to step up there.
Phoenix has had a sizable edge on the boards all day. They lead 36-25. Avery Johnson can't get it, and a jam miss on the follow by Robinson.
Robinson should think about bringing that ball down and taking it up. He's had 4 or 5 tips today that haven't gone in.
Doc Rivers all over him like a cheap suit and just ran up the back of Wesley Person trying to get around the screen. But now you can see the difference between players when they're making baskets and when they're not making baskets. Wesley Person was not nearly this aggressive in trying to get to the ball to make things happen.
Steve, Phoenix is 11 and 12 on the year. All season long, they've been standing around waiting for things to happen, waiting for Barkley to take over, waiting for KJ and Hot Rod to start playing again. Westphal's been really trying to get them to be quicker to the ball and be the aggressive, assertive team that they've been as the most successful team in pro basketball over the last 7 years.
16 for Wesley Person now, as we're told by Jim Grace from the bench that Wayman Tisdale just poked in the eye. He will return. All over David Robinson, too much so. Foul called with 35 seconds left in the third.
But Joe Klein said, look, I'm probably going to come out the game anyway. So, Elliott, I'll take this foul. Don't put your hand up. I got this one.
He wants to make sure he gets in the stat sheet.
No, he started the game. He's in. He got an official.
He's in there 3 times. He got 3 fouls. Elliott looks for Robinson, spots him inside over AC Green. 17 for the Admiral.
7. David is still going to have a big finish in this ball game. They keep talking about that bad toe. I don't think it's a toe so much as he hasn't seen the ball go in. He'll feel a lot better when he starts making more shots.
He's got to call for the ball more in his spot down there on the left right box. Low right box.
Robinson clears the Perry miss. Johnson in a hurry to Elliott. Hammered by Klein, number 4.
How's that not a flagrant foul?
Well, in this case, they're going to say he made an attempt on the ball, and he did, and at the end, he didn't throw him to the floor. Now, he goes up right there to try to get the ball, got a piece of the ball. If he had brought his hands down and thrown Elliott to the ground, we would have probably seen a flagrant one.
Well, if we're going to wait until the star players get hurt before we start calling out flagrant fouls, that's a big mistake.
Sean Elliott hits the first free throw as Tony Smith enters the lineup for the Suns.
Line out of the ball game.
Sean Elliott shooting for point number 18 on his second free throw.
They said he got to take a timeout here.
Ed Rush, one of the game's great officials, says, I don't know what's going on here. Just give him the ball back, let him shoot, and don't put the camera on me.
And Elliott obliges by hitting the second. Backcourt pressure from the Spurs in the final seconds of the third quarter. Finley got it away, but couldn't hit it, and the third quarter will come to a close. Wesley Person hot in the quarter, 16. And the Suns in the third up on the Spurs, 84-76. Back after these messages and a word from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
There are definite reasons we created Ford Windstar to be the only...
Suns up 84-76 on the San Antonio Spurs.
Barkley.
And actually that cameraman's name is Nick, so there is an authentic Saint Nick behind camera on this Christmas day in the Valley of the Sun.
Pretty good looking Santa Claus, but Barkley had gone the first 24 minutes. Look at how the Phoenix Suns torched teams a year ago and how they struggled after they had the lead at the end of three, so they're not safe and out of the woods in this one for sure.
Barkley over Robinson. Purdue all alone with Elliott for the rebound.
You saw the great numbers, 45-2 for Phoenix after three quarters last year.
Yeah, David. Strong move by the Admiral.
You watch that toe get better.
This year, though, Phoenix just 7-8 when they lead after three quarters. Unable to finish. Have to keep our eye on Barkley. Remember, he was guilty a little bit of not producing in the fourth quarter in the playoffs last year.
Finley for three, way off. Barkley, the offensive board.
Well, Barkley was hurt last year in the playoffs. He told us yesterday he's in the best physical condition he's been in the last 3 or 4 years as he goes one up with David Robinson.
Person's had the hot hand. That one won't go. And Sean Elliott grabs the rebound.
Now, David Robinson's got to take advantage of Charles Barkley. He can just turn around and shoot over him anytime he wants. Avery Johnson gets a hoop.
And the Spurs climb within 4. Excuse me, Snapper.
Avery's got 16, so he's had a solid ball game after having the 25 against the Rockets.
Oh, what foot speed will Purdue?
How about a bad...
Looking inside for Robinson.
Now turn and go to the hoop with him.
Spinning move, Avery Johnson results in a foul.
David Robinson, who's had over 30 points in 9 of his last 12 games while shooting 59% in that streak of 12 games. Avery Johnson just able, as you said, Steve, all day long, just taking advantage of Elliott Perry.
It's ownership. He hasn't been penetrating like that against Tony Smith. Elliott Perry comes back in the game. He's spinning and dealing, and they got to get Tony Smith back in the game right now as Elliott Perry sits down.
Sits with 4 fouls, as a matter of fact. There he is. Avery Johnson now with 17 points and 12 assists, has not turned the ball over.
Robinson on Barkley.
3-point game. So now it's up to the Suns to reestablish some offensive energy, not just be a perimeter team try to drive that ball to the basket. 10 minutes to go in the game.
Barkley around. Robinson for the jam over 2 7-footers. Robinson and Purdue, who came to help.
One of the fans said, that's big time. You know big time there. But David Robinson was too far out on the floor. With even the quickness he has, he's not going to be able to deal with the first step of Charles Barkley.
Sir Charles with 26. Johnson open again. Can't get the roll. Purdue, the offensive putback.
That's something that Will Purdue has done all his career. When he was with the Chicago Bulls, he could get offensive rebounds, but he was always overpowered as a backup center. Now he's playing a little bit of power forward, and I think he doesn't have the same kind of pressure on him.
Finley took that. Suns turn it over again. Merry Christmas as Sir Charles takes on the Twin Towers with a jam. We'll be back.
Hakeem and the NBA champion Rockets face Shaq and the Magic next on NBC.
Today's Miller moment took place in the 93 playoffs. Round 2, Game 6, Suns against the Spurs. With a score tied, the clock ticking down, Charles Barkley hits its clutch jumper to give Phoenix a 102-100 victory, taking the series 4 games to 2. In recognition of this moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Let's go to Jim Gray right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. I'm joined by Jerry Colangelo. He, of course, the owner of the Phoenix Suns and the Diamondbacks and a new hockey team which is coming to town from Winnipeg next year. But, Jerry, I know you're most concerned about the Suns start and the return of Danny Manning. Can he be the player that he was, and what about your team start?
Jim, we hope so. We hope when we get all of our people back sometime in January, late January, we'll have a good read on our team. We were disappointed in the bad start, but I think our best basketball is ahead of us.
Are you actively pursuing some other players? We heard at halftime from Pete Bessie that you'd like for a shooter to come in.
Well, I think we could use another scorer, especially when we're undermanned the way we are, but we'll have to wait and see about what becomes available.
The trade of Dan Marley, of course, a big subject. First time it's really been addressed to a national audience. How much do you miss Dan here?
Well, we miss Dan. He made a great contribution to our basketball team, but we thought in Hot Rod Williams, once he gets healthy, he gives us a dimension we haven't had on this team for a couple of years, and I think it should work out for both teams.
You didn't lose 12 games, as we pointed out earlier, until well into February the last couple of years. How difficult is this for you and for Suns fans?
Well, it's tough, Jim. Over the last 7 years, we have the best record in basketball, and to see us struggling the way we are, it's something we haven't been accustomed to.
You feel as though Charles Barkley will return for another year, or is this his last?
I've been saying that every year, that he'll be back another year. I think he'll play as long as he can.
Jerry, thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Tom?
All right, Jim. Sean Elliott hitting 2 free throws to cut the lead to 1. Well, Jerry's got the sports marketing franchises cornered here in Phoenix. So we get a wrestling franchise or something for him. He's got it all locked up with
AC Green,
baseball, basketball.
AC Green was a big pro wrestling fan. Would love to be the general manager of that franchise. But Jerry Colangelo, is there anybody who's ever done more for the state of Arizona than he has?
Will Purdue just committing his 3rd foul.
And done it in such a professional manner, leaving everybody with a good feeling about it.
Barkley mad at himself. He passed up the shot.
Now, see, they've become tentative, and Doc Rivers is going to end up with the foul at the end. He just ended up reached out and grabbed Michael Finley. That bails out a tentative possession for the Phoenix Suns. The Suns got to get back to being aggressive at the offensive end. No more holding the ball, and when they have an advantage, go right to it. They're trying to play pick and roll with Barkley.
And a foul call.
Spurs are showing an inability, Tom, to guard a mobile, active, talented power forward like Barkley. Now, no one has really had success in their career against Barkley. The tall, mobile guys, like a Kevin McHale. McHale was really the only guy I ever saw do anything with Barkley, but Barkley is a much, much better player than he was in the mid-'80s.
Already above his average today as Will Purdue committed his 4th foul. Chuck Person will replace Will Purdue.
Jerry Colangelo was talking about Charles playing next year. They asked Charles if he was going to play next year or not, and Charles said, hey, have I played this year yet?
They need every free throw and every offensive score. That's only 3 points in almost 4 minutes of play. All of them scored by Barkley. And the Spurs, they got a little belief now that they can pull this game out.
Johnson pulls up. And it looked like Charles Barkley knocked it right out of the hand of his teammate A.C. Green.
But it's better to have a mistake like that where you're aggressively pursuing the ball than not to go after it and end up seeing the team in black get it back and put it in. San Antonio gets a fresh 24. You can look for them to go to David Robinson.
Outside jumper from the Admiral is an air ball. Here's a run out by Finley.
Posterized that one. David Robinson, who playing too much on the perimeter right now.
Avery Johnson chases down the loose ball in backcourt.
Shot clock.
Under 10. And Rivers stepped out of bounds.
Since you like this so much, Bill, take another look at it.
David Robinson get right back after shooting the air ball, but you see, that's not a fluid run and sprint out by David, and he lands rather awkwardly on our cameraman. Harry down there, getting some abuse on the baseline.
Smith nearly lost it. But over the head of A.C. Green.
A.C.'s going to say, I got a little twitch in the back, which he did. David Robinson ran over and trying to establish that he was back. He touched him. Ball flew over his head. Spurs get away with one.
13 Sun turnovers, only 4 for San Antonio.
I'd like to see David get more aggressive here. He's only got 2 fouls, picked those up in the opening quarter.
And, you know, what we talked about for David Robinson is reestablishing himself as a dominant force. And a double foul. This is a bad call. This is a real bad call right here. A.C. Green gets away with a couple of those slide tricks. But watch, he's gonna pop him there, hit him again, elbow him on the way around to the front, hit him in the side, and then they call a double foul. Now watch, see all the time. This is a total body massage right here.
That wasn't as good as the one you had yesterday, though, Steve.
Double foul called.
But, you know, the level that David's trying to get for his team is to be able to establish that he can take the game over at any time, and he needs to do it right now here in the 4th quarter.
Wesley Person with the deflection that resulted in the Suns steal. An illegal defense called against the Spurs.
Doc Rivers just caught in no man's land there. He went for the initial double team and then realized that, hey, we don't want a double team down there on those guys. Double team Barkley maybe, but certainly not the rest of the Suns.
Wesley Person shoots the technical and hits it. So the Suns pull back away by 5 as we take a break.
Come see how the game is played on Planet Reebok. And by Pert Plus Shampoo and Conditioner. Great hair, no fuzz.
Here's a look at the rookie Michael Finley of the Phoenix Suns. One of several talented newcomers that are making their mark in the NBA. Players like Jerry Stackhouse from the Tar Heels of North Carolina, now with Philadelphia. Damon Stoudemire with the Toronto Raptors. He played at Arizona. And from Maryland, Joe Smith, now playing well for the Golden State Warriors. And Michael Finley taking his place among those talented rookies as the 3rd leading scorer. And as you noted earlier, Bill, not getting the same opportunity some of those others are getting either.
But Finley's playing time now is up to around 30 minutes of ball game. So he's got enough time out on the floor. What they'd like to see is just a little bit better decision making along with his aggressiveness. He thinks he got a one-on-one against David Robinson right now.
Well, sometimes it's what you don't know that works out.
That's an impossible matchup for David Robinson. David Robinson is 7'2". Certainly doesn't have the mobility to go against a Finley.
Pretty fadeaway by Sean Elliott off the glass.
The difference in this game, though, has been David Robinson. Great start early on today, but really, at this point, has 19 points, 8 boards, and a couple blocks, which is a far cry from what he had in the first meeting between these two earlier this month.
I think that the mistake that San Antonio has made is they've gotten double-teamed crazy with Charles Barkley. Again, you got a chance to control a team that's smaller, and Barkley is going to get what he's going to get, but if you let everybody else get in the game, you're going to find yourself on the wrong end of the scoreboard. David.
How can you lose David Robinson?
I think I'll go guard Doc Rivers on the perimeter instead. I think the new contract for David Robinson is going to be a huge stabilizing plus for him, the way it was for Hakeem a couple years ago.
You mean this guy was unstable?
No,
You were worried about him?
I was never worried about David Robinson.
Barkley's floater won't go, but he will draw the foul. Number 4 on the Admiral.
Remember, his body is just maturing now. He's 30 years old now. Only 7 years at 30 years old. Sean Kemp has probably got 7 years in the league, and he's, what, 23 or 24?
Yeah, he is very young.
Finley misses a 3. Barkley wades in and ties up Chuck Person on the rebound.
Nobody has more fun playing than Charles Barkley. And he takes time to talk to J.R. Reed and say, J.R., you know, that wasn't a jump ball. You know it wasn't a jump ball.
That's one of the reasons he's so much fun to watch, because he's enjoying it so much.
I thought he was talking to J.R. Reed about his haircut.
I think he said to JR, he said, quit trash talking unless you're in the game. Not allowed from the bench. JR twisted an ankle earlier and is not going to play again today. Sean Elliott will shoot a pair. He has 22 points. And what a potent combo that is. Robinson and Elliott.
The Phoenix lead feels a lot bigger than it is. It is a 2-point ball game as we take a look at the scoring duos, and the 2 in this ball game, almost 50 a game, only led by Jordan and Pippen, and they've been on a sensational roll here late.
I like to see though Avery Johnson and Glenn Rice up there. Give those guys a lot of credit for continuing to play hard in a tough situation down there where they lost Alonzo Mourning. But those two as a pair, LJ and Glenn Rice, have clicked chemistry-wise.
Suns lead cut to 1. 4.5 minutes to play from America West Arena. Barkley draws the double team around the horn to Finley.
Shot clock at 4.
AC Green forced to take a 3, and he hits it. Green doesn't take many threes, but he can occasionally nail one. He has 17 points.
If Phoenix can hold on and win this game, this is something they can really build on. They're just 5 games behind, and with 9 out of their next 11, offensive foul.
Sean Elliott called for the offensive foul, number 4.
AC Green, after making the 3, knowing that they needed that separation. That was his first score in the second half.
Timeout, 4:11 left. The NBA on NBC.
Oh, dear. And a very happy new year. A Phoenix Suns victory.
And right now they're looking good. They lead 95-91 with 4:11 to go. Wayman Tisdale can play that bass now. He plays in a jazz band and regularly, in fact. Suns hitting 51% of their field goals. San Antonio only 44%.
You didn't get a copy of his CD, Power Forward? The hot seller over the summer.
Shot clock to 7. Smith. Barkley. Somehow he was able to get inside position and draws the foul.
Well, Bob Hill may have to give his tie away today because he's not liking the way his team is finishing the game. But here's the subtleties of Barkley in the air and on the way down. After the little touch, he just throws it back up to get to the line.
5th foul on Chuck Person.
They've just had no answer for the power forwards, and as the Spurs go into the bulk of the season, which is ahead of us, they got to play night in and night out against the Karl Malones, the Sean Kemps, the the Robert Ory's, Eldon Campbell at LA. How are they going to slow down these power forwards?
Don't forget, next Sunday, the NFL playoffs begin. Join us for the AFC wildcard game Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, as the Indianapolis Colts will take on the San Diego Chargers. That's NFL playoff action, the AFC wildcard game, next Sunday here on NBC.
Most teams can't deal with the list of guys that you named, but what they are able to do is have a little presence at the power forward themselves, and that is what Bob Hill is looking for. He's trying to do it by committee now, and that may be their story all year long.
Smith nearly got it away from Robinson, but the strong hands is able to hold on and jam it down. 23 for David Robinson. Charles Barkley has 29 in their individual battle. We've got a timeout with 3:31 to play. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Sometimes there's a game on my corner, and I'm deep into my head, so it goes all like Zen-like. And check this out. I'm seeing Anderson, Robinson, Van Exel, and my man Sam Cassell playing ball when my guys play ball. And it's all about ball. And it's crazy, right? I mean, all in my head, but you think I'm crazy, right? Yo, I'm not crazy. I know what's real. I'm real. This is my planet. Everybody be cool.
This year's NBA final sweep, Hakeem Olajuwon and the two-time defending champion Houston Rockets visit Penny Hardaway in the Orlando Magic. The Magic 14-0 at home in the O-Arena. It's Houston and Orlando coming up next. Now let's send it back to Phoenix.
All right, Hannah, we had a quick look at Hakeem in the new Houston uniforms. The verdict, thumbs up, thumbs down, guys?
I like them a lot. In fact, I saw Houston play 10 days ago at Sacramento. They played the game of basketball as well as it's ever been played when they won by 40 at Sacramento.
Pick and roll, Barkley against Robinson. Double team by Elliott now.
Shot clock.
Person came up empty.
They had to hurry that one, and he didn't have a good angle to get the ball away. So San Antonio trying to keep the rhythm going, come back to David Robinson.
Elliott for three. He got it. It's a one-point game, 97-96 Phoenix.
San Antonio's played better with Doc Rivers. He's not been a statistical contributor, but he's held the team together.
Barkley open. Won't go.
Finley over the top. Michael Finley trying to get that ball and keep it alive. Came right over the top. There goes the foul that they had to give.
Will Perdue has been a real key contributor to the to the San Antonio Spurs the last 5 games as they've put together their best streak of the season. He had 3 games where he averaged almost 15 boards. 3 out of the last 5 games.
Off the bench today, though, the Suns have outscored the Spurs 27-10. Wesley Person was 17 off the Phoenix bench.
Shot clock down to 5, and Will Perdue with the ball in his hand.
And he stepped down the baseline.
Look at the emotion of Charles Barkley with the pumping fist.
And you always want to try to get the ball to a guy where he can do something with it. Now you're asking Will Perdue against the clock to dance, to put the ball on the floor.
If it had only been a size 18, he wouldn't have stepped out. Those 21s were way over the edge. Person misses again. Doc Rivers the rebound. And once more, the Spurs will have a chance to recapture the lead inside 2 minutes.
I'd get David Robinson going to the hoop right now. And all the way to the hoop. No fadeaway, no double clutch.
They hold the ball too long. They're trying to get a little screen roll, and Doc Rivers makes the shot.
Doc Rivers puts San Antonio up 1, 98-97.
Doc Rivers has made 5 points, and all of them at key times, and Paul Westphal needs a break.
Back after these messages from your local station. Out of bounds off his foot, recovers, and draws the foul. Sean Elliott will be called. Suns, as you saw on that graphic, down to their final timeout. That's 5 fouls on Elliott.
Anytime you're winning a game, you have to have a little luck, and that one dribbled off his foot could have been called a kick ball. He picked it back up, and Sean Elliott said, I went straight up. He commits the foul. Elliot Perry, who has not been able to get into this game. He was 3 of 4 in the first quarter of play and has been sitting most of the time now on the line.
He is a good free throw shooter, though, over 80%. Needs this one to tie it.
I don't think it's a kick ball when you dribble off your foot, is it, Steve?
He dribbled it off, but he also kicked it in trying to pick it up.
Perry got the second one. Game tied at 98.
Barkley just gave Will Purdue a little shot.
San Antonio has made 5 straight field goals.
Beautiful two-man exchange, Sean and David Robinson.
Robinson to the hoop. A.C. Green got him on the arm.
The reason I laugh is Barkley does these things in critical situations, but David Robinson coming hard to the rim, as you suggested, Bill, challenge the defensive A.C. Green. He'll go to the line.
David's always among the league leaders in free throws made and attempted on the season. He's really worked hard in the offseason, in his offseason home in Aspen, Colorado. As we look at the free throw attempts, Penny Hardaway, that's a terrific accomplishment for him. You get a guard going to the line that much. But David really worked hard on his footwork and moves in the paint this year. It's paid off today.
Hits 2, 5 of 8 on the afternoon. Spurs by a deuce.
8-point quarter for David Robinson, who picked up the pace.
You called that, Steve. Big toe or not.
Pick and roll to Barkley, cut off by Elliott. Fadeaway won't go, and Robinson clears the board. Inside the final minute.
Right back to Robinson and again to the hoop.
I think they're going to come to Sean Elliott on this side against Michael Finley.
Wide open Johnson from Elliott.
They have no time. They only have one timeout left, and we'll have to save that for the last second play.
They started the clock too early there before the ball was touched inbound.
Well, the Suns were trying to get up here and get a timeout. This actually will give Paul Westphal time to talk strategy. The mistake that they make is that they leave Avery Johnson. Tony Smith went over to double team. Avery Johnson went to the basket and 2 points in celebration. A 4-point advantage with 43.4 seconds to go. Suns got to come down thinking 2 possessions, get a quick shot.
Avery Johnson quietly has had a big game. Harry throws it away. Right to Avery Johnson.
Play the clock now.
Elliot Perry fouling Sean Elliott.
Wrong fellow to foul. Sean Elliott has been an 80 career percent shooter all the time, so he's pretty solid, and with a 4-point advantage, he's sure to get at least one of the 2.
Sean has hit all 7 of his free throw attempts today. Post game, San Antonio tough, as you see. 8 for 8.
You go back to last season, and they haven't lost one in 3 points or less, and Will Purdue's coming out of the ball game, Person coming in.
And that shows a team coming together, which San Antonio has really done. They've traditionally been a slow starting team. This is their best start since the '91 season. But now they really know each other. Robinson at the top of his game, Sean Elliott at the line right now, peaking at the right time as he bricks.
This is the second one. He has 28 for the game. Barkley launches a 3. Back rim, Doc Rivers. And a foul with 17.1 seconds showing.
So the Spurs get their first victory ever here. Or unless, of course, they're going to pull a Reggie Miller like they did last year, Tom.
They had been 0 for 8 coming into today's game, and the Spurs built a 10-point lead at the end of the first quarter before Charles Barkley and A.C. Green took the game over. It looked like the Suns were going to waltz to victory, but the fourth quarter comeback by San Antonio. A couple of big shots by this man, Doc Rivers.
Doc was huge to make the 2 to tie the ball game, but I think where Phoenix got in trouble when they had about 3 minutes and change to play, they decided to put the ball in Charles Barkley's hand and hold the ball and not continue to move the ball, move people. They didn't get the ball to go in. San Antonio scored.
Wesley Person was the hot hand in the third, not a factor in the fourth.
Perry kicks it back to Barkley, can't get the three away. Person,
look at the hustle by Sean Elliott.
Elliott Perry lays it in. 4.5 seconds left. And for the first time ever, the Spurs will win at America West Arena. A Christmas afternoon gift for San Antonio fans as the Spurs come charging from behind in the fourth quarter to win at 105-100 behind 28 points from Sean Elliott. Let's go to Jim Gray with the Admiral.
All right, thank you. Curse of Phoenix is over. You were playing with a bad toe. How much did it bother you?
I think a little bit early, but once we got into the flow, it was a little better. When I'm having a rough night like tonight, other guys picked it up. I was proud of Sean. Sean did a great job. Everybody came back and picked up the boards and did a nice job, helped us out.
I know you're happy here to win in Phoenix. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, thanks. I want to wish my wife Merry Christmas and our little boys.
All right, back over to you, Tom.
All right, Jim, Spurs win it 105-100. For Bill Walton, Steve Jones, and Jim Gray, Tom Hammond saying so long. Now we take you to Orlando for the Magic and the Rockets.